We talked about this yesterday. Her ex-husband, Jay Cutler's recent DUI and gun possession arrest. She has addressed it on her Let's Be Honest podcast.
I apologize.
She expressed her concern, but kept her comments brief. She said, I do, of course, wish Jay the best and hope that he gets the help he needs. She added that she will not be discussing the matter further. She explained that the podcast episode titled Breaking Up Sucks was recorded before Cutler's arrest and asked listeners to keep that in mind while they are listening. Cavallari and Cutler, who share 3 young children, finalized their divorce in 2022. Cutler and his girlfriend, Samantha Robertson, made their relationship public in September 2023. Cutler, who last played for the Miami Dolphins, retired from the NFL in 2017, then transitioned to a broadcasting role with Fox Sports. So
I kind of like that Cavallari, Kristen Cavallari. Kathy, how do you feel about her?
Yeah, I mean...
She seems pretty, level-headed.
I mean, I think I really like what she did in her business and how she kind of grew it. And, I do like her.
There we go. Okay, 2 thumbs up for Kristen Cavallari on this side of the console, Preston.
very good, very good. Boy Meets World star Danielle Fishel has revealed that she chose not to tell her kids about her cancer diagnosis to avoid worrying them. She shares that she feared that her son, who was close to her, his grandmother who died from lung cancer, might think the next time he gets a cold that he's going to die. So she kind of kept it quiet.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I guess, you have to know how to play it with kids.
And I don't know how old he is, but she told her son that she had a boo-boo that required surgery, saying...
Her son's 32.
32 years old.
Mom, you have a boo-boo? How
Wait,
serious?
boo-boo? Do you have cancer? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
She said, I told them that I love our bear hugs, but my boo-boo means that I need to be gentle. Now cancer-free, she's urging fans to stay on top of
Can you be a little bit more specific? Boo-boo meaning pertaining to what? Is there some sort of dermal thing that's going on? Or is there something subcutaneous? I need to know. I know that is not my nose. You did not pull it off my face.
She could be real with him if she wanted to, yeah. The actress notes that it's very important to detect health issues early. She said, knowing my breast cancer diagnosis early on gave me the power to take action. And she's urging others to prioritize preventative care. Like we had said, she was it was a stage 0.
Like they could,
diagnosed for her, which is fantastic. That's I assume that's as early as you can detect something.
That's what they said, and she was been very vigilant about being on the regularity of her checkups, and that speaks well to being on top of these things.
Yep. All right, so there's good news and questionable news about the gift that Northwest got Kim Kardashian on Mom's 44th birthday. The good news is what 11-year-old buys their mother an engraved diamond necklace. Kim posted on Instagram, a clip on Instagram stories where she revealed that the present said, she said that, she goes, okay, North got me this diamond necklace that says Skibbity Toilet. Wow. Okay. And love North. The youngster chimed in, adding, because you love Skibbity Toilet.
I kind of like this kid because she did maybe we can find it, a picture. She was kind of mocking her mom. She was done up as her mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, everything with the facial expression and everything, and it was very funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
The same way you say, Kathy, Jace will dismantle you sometimes in public. It seemed to be that way.
Oh, Kathy Romano.
But you think she'll wear the Skibbity Toilet necklace?
I think so, yeah.
Right, I hope so. So Justin Hartley from This Is Us, or Hartley, I'm sorry, that's his name, recently dished on his poolside wedding to Sophia Pernas during an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Hartley shared how the couple, still in their bathing suits, had a lawyer come to their home in 2021 during the pandemic. He said, we got out of the pool, we had our bathing suits on. It was the best wedding in the world because we got right back in the pool and we're like, margaritas.
If I look like that dude, that's all I would ever wear would be a bathing suit.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hartley explained that they decided to tie the knot just a year after they started dating, describing it as a low-key event that felt right at the moment. Later, they held a more intimate ceremony with family and friends where Hartley said that he loved seeing Pernas in a wedding dress. And the pair originally met on the set of The Young and the Restless in 2015, but reconnected years later. They now are happily married, and they have also worked together on Quantum Leap. And she joined him on his CBS series Tracker. Hartley told Us Weekly in July. What's really cool is when you meet someone that means so much to you that you're so proud to be with and so proud of, and rack 'em. She elevates scenes, he said.
Steve, you're way tied into the Batman world. Do you know about this podcast called Harley Quinn and the Joker?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
So he plays Bruce Wayne / Batman in this podcast series.
Yeah, he was actually on it was a pilot that did not sell. He played Aquaman around the time that Arrow first debuted.
Right.
And it was really good, but it just didn't catch at the time.
And I think he was also on Smallville, wasn't he, too? He played Green Arrow?
Yes.
Is that the same
guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know who else, on Reacher, he was an Aquaman type of character, or Aquaman, in fact, on Smallville. So, yeah.
Wait,
Reacher?
Reacher?
Yeah, the actor who played Reacher. Richardson.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever his name.
Yeah.
So a couple of people have taken a swing at Aquaman.
All right, nice. So, Teen Mom, we never talk about that.
And for good reason.
Star Janelle Evans continues to have drama with a strange husband, David Eason. Evans claims Eason broke onto her property and tried to steal dirt bikes and ATVs.
No.
Janelle says David,
Get away from those dirt bikes.
his girlfriend, and 3 other men took bolt cutters Sunday night and cut off the locks to the gate at her North Carolina property, breaking into her garage and loading up her motorcycles and other property on a trailer.
Goddamnest thing I ever saw.
When cops showed up, Evans, who wasn't home, told them through her Ring camera that Eason was not allowed on the property, and even if he was limited to taking his work tools and nothing else. The deputy told Eason to put the bikes and ATVs back, which he did.
All right. Now move along.
Yeah. All right, how about this? Frankie Muniz can probably swap things from actor / race car driver to race car driver / actor. He began racing in 2004 and started his professional career in 2006, and he is joining, and I will mess this up, Rayomi Brothers Racing as a full-time driver.
That's pretty wild.
Of the number 33 F-150 in the upcoming 2025 season of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
So he's actually, I watched him on the Steve-O's podcast, and he's obviously had those brushes with the strokes and mini strokes.
Yeah.
But he's a pretty thoughtful guy, and he just loves racing.
Yeah.
And traditionally, successful race car drivers tend to be a little bit smaller, and he is.
You are correct about that. And in order to get in on the circuit, I mean, you got to be good. You got to be really good. They don't let dangerous people out onto those tracks.
Yes, no. And he's been doing it for quite a while.
Good trivia question here. Do you know the shortest NASCAR driver in history?
Billy Barty.
No.
No.
Danica Patrick.
Really? Well, that's actually good, yeah.
Shortest NASCAR driver. in
Danica
history.
Patrick, yeah, that makes sense.
Also,
She is tiny.
the hottest.
Yeah, those are the
no,
hottest.
probably.
And Billy Barty.
Yeah. Well, Dick Trickle was pretty hot.
Best name.
She said, or he
And Drippy
said,
Dong, who is an Asian.
Drippy Dong. He said, I don't want to say that it's a long time coming, but this has been a dream of mine forever. And he said, as far as acting is concerned, it's taken a back seat these days to the Malcolm in the Middle story. He said, I just hope to prove to people that I can do both. So
That's very cool.
this was sad to see. OG Baywatch actor and real-life lifeguard Michael Neumann has died. If you remember, he was on 150 episodes and was second only to David Hasselhoff on the series.
Oh,
He's the
really?
guy with the mustache and the male pattern baldness. Baldness. He's kind of looked a little out of place amongst the cast.
He was
I always
jacked.
thought.
He was in
he's in
incredible
great
shape.
shape.
He's the guy who's diving off the boat in the opening credits into the water.
Yeah.
He had performed a number of rescues. He's also one of the people behind the creation of the show, the original show. And so in the series that they recently did about Baywatch, it's like a 4-part Baywatch documentary. Towards the final episode, third or fourth episode, they revealed that he's been at that point had been battling Parkinson's.
Yes,
man.
since 2006. He was 68 years old. So,
But the guy, I mean, a whole other life of rescuing a lot of people.
yeah, he was a real life lifeguard. So sad news there, man.
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah. So, Kathy, we're
Yeah?
getting closer to the return of Yellowstone, and the first official trailer is out. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I did see it, yes.
Okay.
What do you think?
And for someone who's reportedly not coming back, there's apparently a lot of Kevin Costner in it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing.
Yeah. What do you think of what you saw so far?
I mean, it looks great. I can't wait. And I think it looks like they're going to focus on Rip and Beth.
Yes, so things are getting more chaotic on the Dutton Ranch, and of note, nowhere in the trailer does it explicitly say that these are the final episodes for the show. It has been reported that Rip and Beth are in negotiations. This is Cole Hauser and Kelly Riley to star in a continuation of the hit show.
I had no idea that she was British.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
I saw an interview with her talking about coming back to Yellowstone and all that, and I was like, wait, what is that accent?
Like that?
So is Rip part of the Farts family or no?
The what?
Part of the Farts family. Rip.
I don't get it. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You rip ass. You should know that. You rip ass.
It all comes back to farts.
Yeah.
The second half of season 5 premieres on the Paramount Network on November 10th, by the way.
I rip ass.
There we go.
Right
everyone loves the show and loves the. I have not heard anyone who doesn't get involved with this series that does not enjoy the fact that they did. I guess at some point I have to get on board.
Wouldn't it be great if Rip's sister's name was Toot or something like that?
Yeah.
They're all
Queef.
Rip, Toot, Queef.
Farts with fist.
Yeah.
See, why we should be producing shows.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. Marvel's Blade movie has hit another roadblock. Marvel Studios has quietly delayed the movie, removing it from its planned release of November 7th of next year. The reboot has faced a ton of setbacks since it was first announced. And Blade, if it does come out, is set to star Mahershala Ali as Blade, half human, half vampire that hunts other vampires. Marvel has moved around release dates in the past, so it's just because the planned Blade movie isn't on the 2025 release schedule doesn't mean that it's dead.
There's actually
yet.
talk of Wesley Snipes returning as an elder Blade and them going with an entirely different approach to the Blade character.
Yeah, so that could be pretty cool. Maybe they're going to retool it after the interest in Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine.
They are flirting with the notion of introducing a new character called Flex Seal, Preston.
Oh my goodness. He's got a catchphrase.
That's his thing.
Ke-Huy Quan, whose career has come back with a vengeance and starring in Everything Everywhere All at Once, stars in the new action comedy called Love Hurts. The trailer for the movie is out now and shows that the actor plays Marvin Gable, a realtor with a dark secret who can kick some serious ass. He said, I never thought that I would one day be the lead actor in a major studio picture, so it is an incredible feeling.
Is there anybody more likable and who you cheer on more for their success?
Yeah.
And by the way, he is a top-level fight choreographer. I mean, he's done it on a number of movies.
He said that he believed his role was meant for someone like Jason Statham at first. Ariana DeBose, Daniel Wu, Marshawn Lynch, and more also. Yep.
Really?
Also star in the upcoming movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love Hurts in theaters on February 7th. That's what it says right here.
I mean, honestly, the world needs more Marshawn Lynch the same way that it needs more Snoop, and he's just so fun. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so look for him in that case. Ice Cube has given a positive update on the 4th installation of the Friday franchise. Speaking recently, he confirmed that the franchise is indeed coming back. He said, we're going to do what we need to make it dope, make it funny, bring it up to date, introduce new characters, bring back the old characters, create the feeling that the movie gives you.
He is so much fun. He's so much fun to interview. When we interviewed him, we had him on Zoom last time. And when he has an answer that he's thinking about, Preston, he'll get this quasi smile on his face. If you post something to him that he has to think about. But listen, I love the first one. It was the law of diminishing returns as they moved along. But if they can sort of recapture that first one, that'd be great.
The update follows the actor's earlier comments in 2022 where he said he wasn't sure what was going on with Warner Brothers at the time. Should the next Friday movie actually come out, it will be released over 2 decades since the last installment.
Wow.
Because the last film of the series, Friday After Next, was in 2002.
Wow.
And that came out of left field.
It did. And I actually watched the Friday not that long ago, and I think it's funny because his dad in the beginning of the movie, he tells him, you don't fight with a gun. You fight with your fist. But ultimately, at the end, he beats Debo with a brick or like a rock or something like that. I'm like, that's not a fist either. You're going to kill that guy with a brick.
His fist is holding a brick.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
One last story. CBS announced yesterday that Matlock, the reboot starring Kathy Bates, has been renewed for a second season already. The series, which revisits and reimagines the Andy Griffith Matlock that ran from 1986 to 1995, recast Griffith's Ben Matlock as Bates's Maddie Matlock.
And it's a massive, they relocated to Moonbase 11.
A seeming fish out of water and new associate at a New York law firm. The series also stars Sky P. Marshall, Jason Ritter, David Del Rio, and Leah Lewis. So apparently, good things from that.
Yeah,
We're gonna do a
she's a
second
great
season.
actress.
I was talking to a friend over the weekend, and this person surprised me. I don't want to say their name because they listen to the show. They love this new Matlock show. And there's somebody my age, and I was like, really, Matlock? And he was like, dude, it's so good. And
Sometimes they take these shows, like I was a fan of the original Perry Mason, but they redid the Perry Mason series as like a 1920s riff. And it was really much more biting and sharp. Sometimes if they do that, it can be really good.
Nick, how old did you say that person was?
49.
Yeah, well, somebody 41 in this room right here may have watched it, and it's really
That's what I heard. I heard it's like funny and cutting edge and like a lot of like inside jokes, but really well delivered.
I never watched the original. I know like what the twist, but this one has a little bit of a twist at the end of the pilot, and I was kind of like, all right, I'm hooked.
All right.
Well, you can't watch the original unless you have a little bit of stool softener next to you.
So, all right, well, cool.
Yeah, Kathy Bates is really good, and then the supporting cast around her is fun too.
Okay.
I might have to check out Matlock.
All right, we are ready to roll some clips here for you. Tyler James Williams has been acting since he was 4 years old, and he still loves it. Here, the Abbott Elementary star talks about working with kids every day on set.
It's one of the greatest privileges I think I've had in my career, to be able to know what their little minds are doing, because I used to be there, and then actually shepherd them through this process. Let them ask the crazy questions. Let them indulge in the fun of it all. For me, it's like giving back to a younger version of myself every day.
I don't give a
A new episode of Abbott Elementary airs tonight on ABC.
When is the It's Always Sunny crossover episode?
I don't know the date on that yet, but we'll try to find that out for you. All right, here's the next clip. The Floor is a turf battle meets trivia game, like playing chess, but the only way to move across the board is to win the face-off. And here, host Rob Lowe describes the type of categories that the contestants face.
It's everything from like super smart stuff like the periodic tables or American presidents to lesser Kardashians or 80s one-hit wonders. So it's like both really fun and also you learn something, maybe.
Yeah!
The Floor airs tonight on Fox. Is this the premiere episode?
No.
Okay.
It's had I think another. I've seen a couple episodes. It reminds me of like The Chair. And, it's just conceited. They're all essentially trivia games.
Yeah. All right, and there you go. That's what I have in the entertainment report for you this morning. Secret text word today, so we're giving away tickets to see Daughtry, the Adrenaline Gone Ballistic Holiday Tour, Saturday, November 30th at Franklin Music Hall. And you can now text the word secret to 39333, and we'll get that underway, and maybe we'll win before the program is up. Raven-Symone is going to be joining us, and we have a few other things to get to, so we'll take a break, come back in a second, and dive into it all. Stay with us this morning, please.
Preston and Steve.
So much. The Christmas trees, the prices have been so crazy the last, 10 years or so.
Yeah.
We kind of started a new tradition in our family. When we go out to get the Christmas tree, we go up to them, we just ask them for, show us the ugliest Christmas trees that you can, and we kind of make a game and see how pretty we can make it.
So you
like
Charlie Brown it up then?
Yeah,
I love it.
As we can get it, and I tell my daughter every tree deserves a Christmas.
That's a good
Yeah,
I like that.
No, that's cool. If you can do that, I'm down with that.
So you take an ugly tree and you try to make it a beautiful tree.
So
and you have they come out awesome, but when we first bring them in the house, it's like, oh my God, they have 3 needles on them.
My wife tells the story of my father-in-law. They were 9 kids and a huge family, and they'd get like a lesser level tree, and my father-in-law would get a drill, very handy. He would remove branches from the back of the tree, drill holes, and put
it's like
them,
a hair replacement for men.
Basically, is what he was doing, and fill out the tree.
All right.
And so they would get the tree up to decorating level, and it looked great.
That woman, Amber, said something that I think could be turned into a Christmas story. Every tree deserves a Christmas.
Yeah.
I think that could be a kid's book, don't you think?
Okay.
Or the loneliest tree at the lot, the one that doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. That's overlooked all the time.
But then a wonderful thing happens. It gets thrown into a wood chipper.
Right.
It's like a turn.
Then a wonderful thing, like Jimmy Durante.
Yeah.
But then they chucked it into the wood chipper.
Yeah. They start with its feet.
Oh, dear God! Make it stop!
You see its little animated head with its mouth gaping open, and it's the last to go in.
Branchy was the last tree
Branchy.
in the lot. He was all dried up. Hardly anything left on him. But then Bill, the kindly owner, slowly fed him into a wood chipper.
If someone has the animation capabilities to turn that last little segment into a animated short, I would greatly appreciate that. Because I don't know about you guys, but I had a vision in my head of what that looked like. Branchy.
Does it look like your year this year, Branchy?
And it happened on, Christmas Day.
But I got you a surprise. A brand new Fuji wood chipper.
Well, what am I going to do with this?
Oh, my God.
Just go to sleep.
All right, so I have another. Would you guys? So I have a story of a mathematician, and while I was thinking about it, is that really considered science?
Yeah,
I mean, it's used in science, but it's its own subject.
Let's
as
take
well.
that angle. It's used in science.
The reason I bring this up is because Jacques Tits died.
Oh my God!
The mathematician behind Tits Buildings, the Tits Alternative, the Tits Group, and the Tits Metric
Stop it.
has passed away at 91.
Why'd you pick this story?
Well,
he's a
because he was an
mathematician.
important man.
Oh, all right. That's why.
Belgian-born mathematician Jacques Tits.
This is wild because he died in the same week Heinrich von Butthole died.
Oh, no. Oh, what a loss.
Who revolutionized calculus.
What a
We
loss.
lost Tits and Butthole in the same week.
I know.
Oh, my God.
What was his name?
Heinrich von Butthole.
Heinrich von Butthole. Well, Tits
Visionary, that guy.
Tits passed away on Sunday, leaving behind a legacy.
He's left an opening.
Why'd you pick this story?
Leaving behind a legacy of research in group theory and geometry. His tendency to name his contributions after himself suggests that he knew his tits' power. By the way, what is group theory? Because it sounds reminiscent of, no, that was governing dynamics, of the guy in Beautiful Mind.
Oh,
and I've forgotten his name.
Let's call him Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe, Miranda Otto, who is in the Lord of the Rings realm.
Preston, it's time to get up and to tell people of Philadelphia Miranda Otto's birthday is today.
Yes, I think it was in the third film. She plays a princess who disguises herself as
So she can fight.
Yes, as a soldier.
Is she not the daughter of the king as well?
I believe that is why she had to hide herself. Because
I have to see that movie again.
They did really good.
How
with
did
you.
I come out?
You came out
Was
wonderful.
I good and heroic?
Of course you were.
Good.
You were eventually you were Gandalf the Grey, and then you became Gandalf the White, and
Then Gandalf the retired.
everybody's
And
happy.
finally Gandalf the mobility scooter.
She is 54 today. What?
Okay. I'm just looking at a picture of her. I know her.
Yeah, you know
I
her.
love her.
You know her, Casey?
Yeah, personally. She used to clean my house.
What the hell is happening?
He's riffing. He's going.
I'm not riffing.
She really used to clean your house?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty wild, man. You'd think she'd have some money from Lord of the Rings.
Well, no. I mean, she used to. Now she's,
She's fallen on hard times.
Meteoric rise.
Word has it that she gives handies for fivers.
It was tenor for me.
I wish
She's very popular in the Shire.
Well, the conversion from pounds to dollars.
Okay. Miranda Otto is 54, and she gives handies for $5.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Kristen Ritter has a birthday today. It's a big one for her. She's 40 years old, so a milestone birthday for her.
When we laugh at stuff like that exchange that just occurred, is a good portion of that laugh the knowledge that we're in the Broadcasting Hall of Fame?
Oh, yeah.
That's the level that got us into the Hall of Fame.
It is. This gentleman is announcing his retirement.
Yes.
And we were all just jumping in going, oh, my God, I can't believe it. You know, and it went on and on and on.
It felt like a tectonic shift.
It did. And but the news is being broken now, and we're going to ease into whatever emotions we may have with this gentleman hanging up.
It's like that joke where they say, when the guy says, your mother died. You can't just tell me the news like that. You got to tell me, your mother was on the roof. And,
Right, yeah. He's into
you
this
have to
a little
parse
bit.
it out a bit.
So he's easing into it, and we're sad to hear the news, but looking forward to seeing him for at least the next year.
Yes.
So let's get him on now. Ladies and gentlemen, over 40 years he's been at this. Please welcome Jim Gardner from on the show. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, well, you know what? Listen, I'm gonna start with saying congratulations to you because retirement is something that I think should be celebrated. When somebody is ready to go ahead and put the career to rest, it's obviously people are not going to be happy about the fact that you're leaving, but still, I think it should be celebrated.
Well, yes, I absolutely agree, and yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to a different life experience, but I've got another year or another 14 months at Channel 6, and I look forward to every day. So it's a bit of a strange experience because there was, a lot of talk yesterday and a lot of emotions yesterday, but meanwhile, I've got another year and
right,
yeah.
On the 6 o'clock news. So, what is it that we're really talking about?
Is that by design to let us, your viewers, down in an easy way, or is this for yourself?
No, yes, it's a way, that I can sort of transition to, a different situation. To tell you the truth, back in 2009, Dave Roberts retired from Channel 6, and this is how he did it. And I remember very clearly that he was working on the 6 o'clock news. He was taking the 11 o'clock news off. So when this whole thing came up a year or so ago with our general manager Bernie Brzezinski, I reverted back to I call it the Dave Roberts model. And I thought it worked very well for Dave. And I think it worked very well for Channel 6. And it was a sort of an easy or a graceful transition that I think benefited both the station and Dave.
It makes complete sense. And I think obviously, the station is going to want to do things. The city, I'm sure, will want to do things in acknowledgement of this. I think this is a perfect way to do it. You were very sweet in your commentary last night, announcing it. And there is something that happens to people who have schedules, as have we, that are off the 9 to 5 rail. And and you were saying you have had certain things in your life, or have not had certain things in your life for 4+ decades that are quite common for a lot of people. And I thought that was a sweet way to frame it. And I was nodding to my wife because she puts up with an askew schedule, and that it was very very sweet the way you phrased everything.
You're very kind. Yeah, I mean, I look forward to that. I'm not complaining that I haven't had it for 46, 47 years, but it is an opportunity for me to experience a more normal rhythm, a more normal rhythm of life, and
right.
to be able to linger over dinner with my wife, would be something I haven't really experienced in my lifetime. And
God.
it's something I look forward to.
Jim, can I ask how you approached your team members, your 11 o'clock team members, Cecily and Deuces and the like, and did you call everybody together, or did you do an individual meeting with each?
I didn't, although they've known about it for some time.
Okay.
We've had conversation about that, so it was no surprise to them.
Okay.
But I sent a memo to the staff yesterday, shortly before the station announced that there would be this pullback and a year from now a retirement. I wanted to be the one to just let the staff know that this was happening. Not that I felt that it was such a big deal that I was leaving, but there was going to be a substantial change, and I thought that it was appropriate for everybody to hear it from me. And so I wrote this memo, and shortly thereafter, the station made the announcement. And, today we've got news to cover.
That's the way you approach it, yes.
Jim, this is Nick. We've had an opportunity to chat a couple times about travel that you've had over the last few years when you've come down to Camp Out, and thank you for being a part of Camp Out over the last few years. I'm curious as to what's on top of your bucket list once you have retired of where you're going to go. What are you going to see that you haven't been able to get to yet?
That's interesting. My wife and I were just talking about going on a tour of Scandinavia. My son is taking his second semester of his junior year in he's in college, and he's taking his second semester in Copenhagen. So we're going to go to visit him at some point, but it's still going to be chilly there. So I think we're going to put off a tour, until it gets warmer and there is a more leisurely opportunity to really take in that part of the world. So that seems to be number one on our bucket list, and there'll be many more to follow, I believe.
Jim, I was curious if your timing of this, of you finally hanging it up, was so you wouldn't have to go through another election cycle again.
Well, it's funny you say that, because this was supposed to end a number of years ago, actually, and there were two extensions. I asked Bernie if it would be all right if I could extend a couple of times, and not the last time, but the time before that was so that I could be here for the last election cycle. And I wanted to very much be present during the Trump phenomenon. I just thought it was an extraordinarily compelling political story, and I am something of a politics nerd. And, you can say what you want about your personal feelings or your political preferences, but from a journalistic standpoint, obviously the whole Trump era, and who knows if it's over or not, has been just extraordinarily compelling, and I wanted to take part in that.
Okay.
And then the second extension was, in the formative stages of the pandemic, and I just felt.
What was it?
So you need to understand that the new chairs have a wider arm base that doesn't suit my computer stand.
Okay.
And so occasionally, if I do things like move or breathe or exist, it falls off. So I appreciate that,
Wait,
Kathy.
hold on, move it. Okay,
You got it. So you see what I'm saying, though,
yes,
right?
I do.
I heard,
it,
but not
just
seen anything.
fits. So if there's slight movement, his whole thing crumbles.
Okay.
I'm going to rebuild this, and you may hear a drill and a
jackhammer?
Yeah.
At some point, right? All right. Well, listen, we are fairly busy people in our work lives, but occasionally, one or two of us might be able to squeeze in another side profession, and apparently one of us is now a supermodel.
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable.
Nick McElwain has entered into a modeling career that we didn't know about. I know nothing about this other than you said you've done a little modeling. Lately.
Listen, I don't want to take anything away from you, Preston, because I know that you had an illustrious career as a foot model, but I am now a head/hair model.
Oh,
professional. 260. And I got invited to be a part of this experiment the other day, and the reason that I was invited to do it was because I'm a 49-year-old guy with a decent head of hair, and a big head.
A big head.
And so basically they wanted to do this demonstration. So it's
and it's in IMAX. That's why they needed
right. Yeah, they needed the big cameras and the cinematography. No, there's a place called Razor Bar, and they're out in Collegeville. And the guy that runs it is a guy named Ed. He's a really nice dude. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you want to be a part of this thing? We'd love to have you and sit in the chair." And what I didn't know is there's an entire world of barber and salon and cosmetology that's high-end stuff. And like there are things. Do you guys know what Hanzo shears are?
No.
I assume they're Japanese.
They are.
Like
I know Hanzo's sword.
Yeah.
Maybe
Hattori
it's
Hanzo.
Okay, yeah, I think it's related to that somehow.
So like Samurai Barber.
Yeah.
There's a stylist named Trevor Moots. I didn't know about Trevor either, but he's like a hairstylist to rock stars and celebrities, and he's based out of Orlando. And so Razor Bar in Collegeville brought this guy Trevor up to demonstrate the Hanzo shears on my giant head.
Are you the subject to use the Hanzo shears on you?
Steve, Trevor couldn't be farther from that.
Oh, yeah?
He's just like a regular dude.
Cool.
But he trained like Vidal Sassoon, like high-end hairstyling.
There's a lot of money in them there, Hills.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so these Hanzo shears, like they can go for $1,000, $1,200.
And are they're regular, but
they're
not
scissors.
regular,
Well,
clearly,
listen,
but-
man, the barbers, like any decent barber, their stuff is not cheap, right?
And that's what they're selling to, Casey. So they're selling to individual stylists, barbers, cosmetology professionals. And Steve, they would sell you like a pair of 8-inch shears or whatever, and you would buy these pair of scissors, and they would last the rest of your life. Your entire professional
career. Well, it's like
career.
the Hanzo. They're folded, folded metal and the
Folded
way they,
1,000 times.
for the perfect haircut. Wow. Yeah, I know that there's high-end bucks involved with that stuff.
Oh my God, we're looking at a pair of HH1 Kamikaze.
That means that
I will die.
You have to die at the end of your haircut
for almost $2,000.
Jeez.
The hair dryer that my stylist at Gravity Hair Salon uses is like $700.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God.
It's a Dyson hair dryer, like the vacuum, like it's I guess a professional grade, like not the ones that like we could buy something if we wanted, but this is like, a higher end version of it.
Right.
So there's a guy named Jordan, and he's the one that does the selling of these shears, Kathy. And his promo is they are Hattori Hanzo shears. He's a sales manager.
That's it.
And they do sharpening, education. So it was an education session. I was the model for the education session, and there were a whole bunch of stylists and barbers and cosmetologists around me to watch this guy Trevor style and cut my hair. And Jordan, that's what his job is. He goes to barbershops and stylists around in and around the Delaware Valley, but he goes like all the way up to Connecticut and up and down the Eastern Seaboard, and they demonstrate these things. And it was fascinating to me to just sit there and listen to all these people talk about.
You were a hair model.
I'm a hair model now, yeah.
Yeah, there's been some people who get some crazy things done at some of these shows that these hairstylists do.
And Trevor, the guy that styled my hair, hasn't gotten a haircut in like 6 years or something.
He's
like that.
got a rocking head of hair.
Yeah. He's a giant mane on top of his head, but he really, really nice dude and a great stylist.
All right, so you modeled. Where are we going to see the photos or whatever?
So Razor Bar is going to share it on their Instagram account. I think maybe they did already, and I can share it on my Instagram as well. But they, Casey,
So you signed a lucrative deal with Instagram.
Yeah, I signed. I should get paid a lot of money
Any
eventually.
day.
Yeah, any day. I think that check's going to clear.
The hair models usually are for the people in the room, correct?
That's right. Yeah. So I was sitting there. I didn't do anything, Steve. I sat there. And,
You do have a good head of hair.
Thank you.
Did you purse your lips at all?
No. Okay. I asked Jordan and Trevor at the beginning. I was like, guys, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. What do I do here? And the guys,
shut up.
Trevor's like, just sit there and look pretty. And I was like, all right, yeah, I can do that.
So I get my hair cut. It costs $25 plus tip.
Okay.
All right, what's a high end? Because women's haircuts are way, way different. But like a man's haircut, I don't think should cost any more than $25.
I'm glad you asked because Trevor only does occasionally he will cut women's hair, but for the most part he only cuts men's hair, and he won't leave the house for less than $100 an hour.
Wow.
And I was just like,
and what's the average length of a haircut?
Sometimes, Steve, 3 hours.
No.
What?
Have you guys ever heard like it? When
Wait, what do you
sort of putting somebody. Hang on a second. Like putting somebody down and saying they have a $300 haircut or a $400 haircut. This is the guy that does those haircuts. Wow. Like really expensive high end haircuts. I didn't know that those actually existed in the real world.
I'm sure he's a very talented gentleman.
Yeah.
but there's no way.
I know.
On God's green earth that I would ever pay that much money for a haircut.
But you guys, he's not, for 3 hours and that much money, he's not just cutting someone's hair.
Right. He's doing all the styling
He's doing
too.
color. He's doing, there's a lot that's going into it.
The regular haircut itself is not $300. It's what he's doing as far as you said, coloring and.
Well, that takes
I mean,
time.
I don't know specifically what he does, but I would imagine that that's what's included. And so for $100 an hour, $300 for that is fairly normal because
Kathy,
that's more like what women get.
Do you know any even like through Instagram or whatever, rock star hairstylists or people that do this for high end? And if so, how much do they cost?
The owner of Gravity Hair Salon did Mick Jagger's hair when he was in town. This was years ago. What?
Nothing.
Oh.
I'm waiting for Steve to maybe do a Mick Jagger and I'm smiling ahead of time.
I just didn't want to step by you. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Yeah, so I don't. He doesn't do it regularly, but he was in town for something years ago, and he was called in to do his hair.
Okay. Give me a Hanso.
That's crazy. And so how did you get looped into this? I'm sorry.
So Ed, who runs Razor Bar, reached out to me over Instagram, and he's like,
"Yeah, how does he know you though? Do you go there?"
Through Mick Jagger.
No, I go to Shaving Grace, and so Shaving Grace is like I'm loyal to those guys, and I always will be. I actually cleared it with them ahead of time. I was like, "Hey, listen, this guy Ed wants to involve me in this promotion."
I can't do it, but I know Nicky can do it.
I wanted to know if they were okay with it because I was going to share it on Instagram, and I shared my haircut yesterday, so I wanted to make sure that the crew at Shaving Grace was all right. And that's the other thing about the barber world is that they all know each other. They're all friends with one another, and it's sort of like the beer community. They kind of support one another in a way.
But I'm curious, how'd you get on Ed's radar?
Ed listens to the show.
Okay.
So Ed reached out to me over the...
And your head is legendary on this program.
Talk about my hair.
Times.
Talk about my head. And yeah, so Ed reached out, and there's a guy named John Marks. He used to work down the hall at the Fanatic, and John recommended me as well. So thanks to John for putting me in touch with Ed. Yeah.
So I always loved going to when I would go to the barber, the old style. What is it? Is it Barbasol?
Barbasol.
Yeah. And then there was the antiseptic liquid, the blue liquid with the combs in it and all that stuff. That was all part and parcel of a regular barber shop. Mm-hmm. Now you're dealing with samurai sword.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally Hattori Hanzo product. And I didn't know that they worked their way into the shearing world and got out of swords.
You'll be the finest barber in feudal Japan.
Yeah. But I want to say hi to Lauren. She works there, and Lauren's son, Kevin. They listen to the show every day when they're driving into work, so it was nice chatting with them as well.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a cool experience. I don't know if I would pay $300, to get my hair cut, but
would
people
you
are out there to do it.
Would you pursue as a large-headed man in a different age bracket? Is there potential work for you to be a hair model or a do you know what I mean?
Steve,
Preston?
they always look for hair models.
Right.
Always. Yes.
Preston, you have a fine crop of hair there.
Oh, yeah.
I hung it up on the feet.
I don't think you typically get paid. I think it's just you get a free haircut.
Oh, I see.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, free haircuts. I'm down with that. I will never pay $300 for a haircut.
No.
Because you're not getting what they're doing.
Yeah.
Nick, I'm surprised you paid $20 for a haircut.
Well, I didn't pay for anything for this haircut.
He was a model. He was hired talent.
When I was growing up, I would go to the Supercuts or whatever, and there was one around the corner from my house in Paoli, and I got sliced in the ear one time. Yeah, and it was, I don't know if she was using Hanzo shears or whatever, but she clipped the top of my ear, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm not going back to this lady.
Well, these things are so sharp that my barber actually sliced her finger just touching it. It wasn't like she was, being
she was being
delicate with it.
Sharp.
And
if you can decapitate someone accidentally.
Yeah.
There's an entire art to it, Casey, that I didn't know about either. So they were taking their time with my hair and my giant head, and the way that Trevor was doing it, Steve was like, you have to hold your fingers in such a way and your knuckles in such a way so that they don't get sliced, just like Casey was talking about. Right. Because when they clip your hair, they'll hold it in between their two, the middle finger and the pointer finger. And when he was describing this, all of the stylists, all of the barbers, like, oh yeah, I cut my fingers on that pair of shears. I cut my hand on those scissors. So these are common problems.
The one guy with the hook, what was his story?
Yeah, these are problems that exist in the barbering world. I had no idea.
So like $2,000 for a pair of shears of scissors, but you did say that they can last you the rest of your career.
Whole career.
When I when I look at and I'm pricing things that are quality.
Yes.
I try to consider that they're quality because they will last for a long, long time.
And that's the key.
So things like knives, if we're going to stay in that realm for a moment, for like kitchen knives.
Yeah.
I mean, like you can find knives that are like, $500, $600, $700, $800 for one knife. But if it does last you forever, then it might be worth paying that for.
So are you going to need a knife that sharp when all you're eating is pudding?
The guy Jordan, that is the salesperson for the shears, Preston, he was saying, what he also does is goes to shops and sharpens them, right? The existing pairs, and the sharpening costs $50 or $100. So he's like, you might as well spend a lot of money on a decent pair of scissors and then just keep them forever, because if we're going to sharpen them, it's going to be $100 every time.
Well, it's an investment piece,
exactly.
For these people that work in this industry. And if they're, like Angela, I don't know if you guys know, she does a lot of men's haircuts. So she's known for the men's haircut. So she, they have these, I don't know if they have those scissors, Nick, but like I know that their scissors are a big deal for them.
Yeah, and I think I would spend more money on something high end that has less components than something that's high end that has a ton of things that can go wrong with it. And I'm specifically speaking about like bikes. The bike that I got is a really nice bike, and they were trying to talk me into going into the electric shifters. And I'm like, that's just another thing that can break. It's another thing that's going to cost more money. You
I don't know
But
what that means with the electric shifter.
Cut the shift.
I mean, it doesn't do anything. Like it just shifts forward. Like you still have to hit a button. You know what I mean? Or actually, maybe it doesn't even matter.
Okay.
It doesn't even matter. But like,
instead of I assume that's a good question.
So some bikes,
instead of pulling a cable or whatever.
So for instance,
some bikes, Casey, that are electric have what they call like an automatic transmission.
Yeah, this is not electric though. This is a regular bike. It's not electric assisted. It's just that the gears will shift electronically.
Right.
Now, my buddy Bill. Bob. I don't even know his name. We were riding this summer, and he came down the shore, and he forgot to bring the batteries for his shifter, so he had to do a 40-mile ride in one gear.
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about.
Oh my God!
And then so our refrigerator broke. I'm like, I'm not getting a refrigerator with all the bells and whistles. I just need something with cold and then ice, and then we're good to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just more things that can go
and
wrong.
a door to close it.
But with scissors, you just got to sharpen them. Yeah. That's it. And and if that's your craft or your trade.
Yep.
Kathy, how loyal are you to your hairstylists?
Oh God, it's difficult to make. I have appointments through probably like February, March.
Hey, Miss Thing.
Because if not, you can't get in with that person.
Yeah.
So I go between Billy Joe and Angela. Like I'm Billy Joe's normal client. If for some reason she's away on vacation or I can't get in with her, I go to Angela.
All right, I know you go to Shaving Grace, but do you go to the same person at Shaving Grace every time?
I usually see Katie there. Yeah.
Okay,
but the three brothers run it, so if I can't get in to see her, I'll go see one of the guys.
I've been seeing Jackie for at least 17 years. She was at Benny's.
Loyalty.
Yeah,
Yes.
so she was at Benny's for the longest time, and then she during the pandemic she had to go into business at her place. But like I go there, my son goes there, my brother when he had hair went there.
My daughters.
So Benny's didn't do female, so my daughters never went. But like all the boys in my family go to the same
Nick,
lady.
that's why it's so difficult when you have to break up with a hairstylist or a trainer at the gym, like people like that. We talked about that not that long ago. I mean, you almost have to come up with a story.
Yeah.
Or fake your own death.
Yeah.
Or if you move and you leave the area and you have to, I remember, my mom when she
Traveling
moved,
back.
she would go back to see her hairstylist. Yeah.
Nick, my mom did the exact same thing. Actually, my mom still does it. My mom moved, I think it was 7 years ago. She still goes back to Yardley, Pennsylvania, drives about 45 minutes to get her hair done.
Wow. All right. So, Kath, remember last week you were saying you accidentally left a $90 tip to your nail
my
lady?
nail girl, yeah.
Okay. So these people, these people that I know, they all went to the same hairstylist, and one of the people had a brain tumor at one point, and the hairstylist undercharged her. Right? She doesn't know or anything. She ends up going home, and the hairstylist calls her. She's like, "Oh, you owe $20 more or whatever." And it was like right on the heels of her having brain tumor surgery. She literally lost all of those clients at once. She lost the girl who had the brain tumor, and then everybody else that like was around her. They were like, "No, F you." Like, I don't even know if that's
you called and they made the mistake.
They made the
called and
mistake.
said,
She
"You have
should
to
have
fix
offered
this."
a tumor discount.
Yeah. I don't know. So, like, I guess that's not necessarily loyalty to the hairstylist. It's more loyalty to
your family member.
Yeah.
It seemed like a crass move in light of what she was going through. But who knows? I don't know what their deal is. You think he could have spotted her $20 if she's having a tumor surgery.
Preston, what was the origin of your foot model story? I forget how that even started in the first place.
Oh my God. Okay.
Well, you were working the runways of Milan.
No, okay. You really want to hear
Yes,
the story?
I forget what it was.
It's a little bit involved. So I was at home, and the guy who ran the sound for my band, Paul, called me. He's like, dude, I just got off the phone with this gal. I think it was so-and-so. Now, let me set the stage. So there was a girl that lived in his neighborhood. She was a few grades older than me. I was out of high school at this point. But anyhow, we referenced high school. And so he said, man, she called me and she started saying all this wild stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, man, she started talking dirty to me. I'm like, really? Okay. So he gets me on the phone. We conference. We do three-way calling, which was a thing back then.
Oh, it was all the rage.
And we get on, and he's talking to her, and she sure enough starts doing like phone sex with us, which is crazy. You know, I mean,
knew you were on the call. You weren't like
yeah. And so he tells me later on that she does some photography and wanted to have us model these socks and to come over and have these pictures taken. And we're thinking, great, we're going to go over and have sex with her probably, because she's doing all this dirty talk on the phone.
We're going to get laid.
That's got to be code for sex is modeling socks.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're thinking one thing leads to another.
Right.
We're modeling socks.
You're putting your foot into socks. You're putting other things into other things.
And then you're putting your foot there. So anyhow, we set up this thing where we're supposed to go to this apartment and meet up with her and get it done. So me and Paul go there, and we show up. She's not there, but this guy is. And so we're hanging out, and she's supposed to be here at so-and-so time and this and that. And so we're just, we ended up watching the Kentucky Fried Movie. I don't know why. So we're watching in this apartment.
The story you're telling is exactly the same story that Cindy Crawford tells about her early days of modeling.
Crazy the way that it works out. So anyhow, the guy eventually says, hey, I guess she's not going to make it. Why don't we go ahead and take these pictures? And so we put these socks on, and the guy takes out his camera, and he's taking close-up pictures of our feet with these socks on. And we were there for like, I don't know, hour and a half, something like that. Enough to watch Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half.
And then the quote-unquote session was over. She never showed up. We never heard from her again. And,
never heard from her ever again.
And so it was not her. It was somebody pretending to be someone else. In the course of the conversation, when Paul was talking to this girl, he had said, hey, who is this? And then I guess he said her name.
And she responded,
is this so-and-so?
yes.
Yeah, it is so-and-so.
To bait the hook.
But like nothing nefarious ever came from it. Nothing.
It just set you up.
It was some weird. I think had there not been the two of us, it was something bad was going to happen.
Do you think
we were going to get robbed or something was going to happen? And maybe the plans changed when we both showed up and. Maybe this guy, they realized it.
Possible it's just a foot fetishist? That
I don't know. Maybe
is that possibly
it?
it?
A foot fetishist or something.
I mean, that's the most bizarre thing.
Weird. It was so strange. And after that, it launched my foot modeling career.
Hilarious.
Which is a joke for those who don't know. After I initially told that story, we led on that I was some international foot model. My feet are horrible, by the way. You never want to see them.
Did you say that there's ear models, or did you say that, Steve? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
There are ear models for earrings. There are, and I only recently learned about. I mean, I know like they're hand models and stuff like that. Zoolander has David Duchovny was the
and Seinfeld Costanza.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hand models. But yes, for whatever body part. Now, and my question was, is AI killing those various sub industries?
Oh, yeah.
But yes, if you were to, right now, though you're not a fan of your own feet, what would you think you could model?
Oh my God. Nothing. Nothing.
But Steve's right, Nick. There are like models for everything. So Marissa reminded me, and I forget why this picture was even taken, but this was my hand modeling picture. I believe it was because when I was doing like some acting stuff, they made you list like everything you could possibly do, any activity. Like, you had skiing on there, swimming, diving, like anything you could possibly do. And I was like, why can't I be a hand model? So I put hand modeling on my resume or whatever it was that you would send out. But Nick, yeah, I mean, for jewelry, there's like, you think like neck ears.
model. Yeah.
I mean, hands, for rings, like anything.
You know who actually has some pretty nice feet? Chuck D'Amico.
No. Chuck D'Amico?
I swear to God.
Be the judge of
that. No.
Chuck, if you're in here, bring those tootsies down.
He probably won't be here for like another hour.
What qualifies as good feet?
All right, so I don't think my feet are terrible, but like my second toes in, they both curve outwards, so that it makes my feet look a little weird. I think they're just nice. He grooms his toes. Like, listen,
nice.
I've
You
seen
groom
them.
your toes.
I
too.
do.
I would love to get a picture of all of your feet,
Oh,
but not knowing who it is.
Yeah, here's what I'd like to. I would actually like to post online all of our feet side by side and see if our listeners can figure out whose feet are who.
Or just
I've wanted to do that for a long time.
My feet are horrible.
I
Me
want to
too.
look and see who has, like Casey said, good feet.
I think if you can hang inverted a la the Lost Boys, you probably shouldn't be a foot model.
Mine are bad because of psoriasis. It messes with your the nails.
Oh,
both
you're
the
not gonna
fingernails
win
and
then.
toenails. You don't. I have
No.
horrible.
Okay.
They're really really bad shape.
Does anyone have the second toe longer than the
Slightly.
the general?
If it was
Nick,
straight, maybe.
my toes point in all different directions.
Yeah.
It looks like the hair of the Hydra.
My second toe bends out away from the big toe.
Me too.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, you're not going to win either.
No, I don't think any of us are going to win. We're all going to end up in a tie for last
And
place.
I think on my right foot, I can feel it now. My second toe from my big toe is trying to is the dominatrix to my big toe. So my big toe is submissive to my second toe.
Casey, your middle toe's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, we have our shoes off over here. By the way.
But
Shoes
look,
are off.
I think I have nice feet. I do.
I don't know.
You know,
Come
I
over
don't-
here. Let me see.
No, I mean, you have nice. The nail polish looks good. I don't think you have nice feet though.
I
Casey. And I'm
hate
not
feet,
saying
by
that to
the
be
way.
mean. Kathy hates feet.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I don't. No, I don't think his are bad.
It's just these are
I
the
don't.
only ones.
I don't mind your curved toe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
not gangly.
No. Oh, all right. See, Steve's second toe is taking over the big toe. I see what you're talking about, Steve.
All right.
I got you. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. No, Preston.
What?
They're like.
Well, I mean, my nail is.
I'm not even your nail. They're too like long and lanky for me.
I have hiking.
I'm sorry. What? What else?
Let me see your foot. All right. So you and I.
Chris is taking a picture of all the feet. Scoot in.
Put your right
foot in.
Put your right foot in. See, out of everyone.
Oh my God, Steve, yours overlaps.
Yeah, see, it
that's
takes
wild.
over the big toe. I got to see Chuck's feet.
I'm telling you, they're not bad. And what's surprising is that they're not little hairy hobbit feet like you would expect because he's so hairy.
He's so hairy.
Yeah, he doesn't have like the gross hairy toes or anything like that.
Like Gelfling toes?
Yeah.
So for all the hiking you do, Nick, your feet are not that effed up.
No, but like.
Because he soaks them every night when he gets
That's
home,
right,
remember?
Yeah, that's mostly just in the summertime, Kath.
We're just coming off summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
My when I actually, Steve, it's funny you bring that up because like when I do a decent amount of hiking, if I'm out on the trail for a stretch, my second toe rubs up against my middle toe so much that both toes end up hurting. I think they're fighting each other on the trail.
You get a little chub rub on your
You get a
toes.
little Woody.
Yeah.
I think
One toe is pleasuring the other one.
I think a groomed foot. I think that's why I was okay with Casey's because he clearly just had a pedicure. So I think that's what I need. I need groomed feet.
Took my daughter to get.
How are your feet,
yesterday.
Kathy?
They're groomed. You will never not see my foot not groomed.
That's the thing, man. When I see some people's feet, I'm like,
Why?
why?
Why do you have feet?
Like there are toenail clippers out there. Also, if you don't mind having your feet touched, whether you're a man or a woman, go get a pedicure. I'm telling you, do it for yourself. Like, just pamper yourself a little bit.
And just clean it up. You don't have to go regularly.
no.
Just every
Once a
once in a
month,
while,
maybe.
clean yourself up.
Just clip your toenails.
Guys, is this the start of our OnlyFans page?
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah.
Like giving away a
Yep.
foot photo for free on the internet is kind of wild right now. Like people blur them out.
Well,
So
They just
I
get
have
one
this
taste.
Yeah, we
4
teasing
foot
them?
photo.
we got a break, guys. We got to go on Fox.
I know.
Oh, damn it. We just started to get into a new industry.
Well, Nick started his modeling career.
That's right.
He's now a head model, which is perfect for Nick. But we do have to take a break. Yes, we're going to go live on Fox Good Day in a moment. So we will do that, and the Bizarre File stories on the way as well. So stay close. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve.
That I wanted to be here for that story. It was, and continues to be a unique story. story that really covers every facet of our human endeavor. It's on one level it's very personal, on another level it's very societal. We go from a story of people's fears and anxieties, fears about their own health, and whether they're going to escape the fate of hundreds of thousands of their countrymen. And on the other hand, it's an extraordinary public health story. It's a story where people are hoping that this economic crisis doesn't affect them. People have lost their jobs. People have, suffered real economic dislocation. On the other hand, it is an extraordinary economic story on a national and worldwide level. So, there's so many different aspects to it that really touch all of our lives, and I just wanted to be here for that. And the story continues to unfold.
There's a scene in the great the Patty Chayefsky movie Network where the William Holden is talking about his plans, and he goes he's gonna I'm gonna write a book. He goes, everybody writes a book. But I honestly would say I would love to read a book about your life. Yeah. If you, if that's in the works. You talk about being a political junkie. I am as well. And, I'd love to, get some insight over your many decades dealing with everything as it has progressed.
Well, you may have to wait a while.
That's okay. That's
good.
Okay. Yeah. Just include a lot of pictures because I'm not very smart.
No, it's funny. I had a very, very nice email from Bob Iger, who's the former CEO of the Disney company. He's still, I think, chairman of the board, and he was very, very generous with some of the things he said. But I recall talking to him at a Disney dinner in New York, and it was shortly after wrote his book, which was very, very good and very informative, and I really enjoyed writing it. But I had the occasion to say, "Hey, I read your book." He said, "Here's some advice, Jim. Never write a book." He said it was easily one of the most difficult and arduous tasks of my life, and my advice to you would be, don't do it.
Okay. So, well, we don't want to cause undue stress. If it's something that floats your boat later on, yes, so you would definitely. I would definitely purchase a copy. That's all I'm saying. I also want to say, and we were talking about this earlier, is that listen, the same way we have Pierre Robert here at the station, who is an icon in rock radio, and
his 40th year is this month.
And we were saying you are. There is, having lived in different markets, there is none smoother than you and more competent on the air. I mean, you're
the best I've ever seen.
The best we've ever seen.
Yeah,
so,
and he's the standard that I hold everybody else up to. So
right.
Whenever I travel to another city and I'm in that hotel and I turn on the local newscast, I'm like, not Jim Gardner.
Ain't happening.
Nope.
Yeah. So does that create an extra onus and weight on you as you depart, or is it how do you? I assume you're not walking around with the "I'm number one" T-shirt on and all that stuff. So how do you process all this?
It's. I have always thought that 85-90% of my job takes place in the newsroom, not in the studio. And I've always felt very strongly about that. I think probably there are some people in this business who see it the other way around, where they identify most of their, their work and what they're being paid for is the actual newscast.
Yeah.
And that may well be. I've just never identified things that way. I work very closely with producers, and I'm very, very engaged. Some would say too engaged in the evolution of every newscast. And so what happens in the studio is almost like putting a period at the end of a task that to me takes place elsewhere. I have never thought that I was, and I'm not, being falsely humble. I've never thought that I was particularly skilled as an on-air anchor person. I've never spent much time trying to cultivate, a presence, a personality. I just read the news.
Yeah.
And maybe that serves me well. I don't know, but I've often, or most often, thought that my work in the studio was left a lot to be desired, and certainly wasn't as developed as my work in the newsroom. So, if you guys think that I've done a good job in that part of my job, then I'm grateful. But I've never seen it that way.
Right.
Oh, I absolutely, and I think part of what it is, I absolutely think that, but I think it's your delivery and the comfort that you give to your viewers. Whatever, is happening in this world and whatever your, information that you're imparting to us, it's you deliver it in a way that makes us feel comfortable and that it's going to be okay. I mean, at least that's what I experienced when I watched Jim.
I appreciate that. That's terrific, and I'm glad that you feel that way. It's never my intention to make a news story more comforting than it deserves to be. Unfortunately, or whatever, the reality is that we're talking in the news business mostly about difficult subjects.
Yes.
And
yes.
Oftentimes, unpleasant stories. And I don't know that it's an anchorman's job to reach out and hold the hand of an audience to make them feel better. But if there's a certain, what I think it is, and forgive me, I'm perhaps making conclusions here that I have no right to make. But I think if an anchor person has a sense of empathy, in addition to, being a reasonably smart man or woman and having good writing skills and being ultimately, curious. I think if an anchor person has empathy, that really comes through.
Yes.
And I think I do. I think I'm an empathic person. I think my friends and my family would say I'm an empathic person. So if that comes through, I'm really glad about that. And if it brings some people comfort, that's terrific.
Well, it's not even up for debate. It obviously has all of the things that you might not see, we see, and that's what's made it work for so long. And you talk about something, you're bringing up something. There was a book from an author, Cheryl Atkinson, who used to be a CBS reporter and investigative reporter, and she writes a lot about the news industry. And she's sort of echoing what you said, that the sort of inclination now to make the news giver the news and the star and personality is not what people really want. It might be here's a gimmick, but she recounted a story of, I forget what station she was at, and the lead anchor, his wife had twins, and the news director said, if I hear anything about this on the air, I will go out of my mind. We're not the story. The news is the story. And I think your reticence to as you said, not over to be a Pollyanna with the news, but also not to falsely terrify the viewers is what served you so well, and it's why you are so revered in this industry.
I really don't know what to say about that.
I know we're throwing a lot of compliments at you, Jim, but yeah.
Yeah, when you use words like revered and stuff like that, it's, it makes me feel kind of awkward.
I got you.
Well, you're going to have to deal with it.
Don't worry, I'll make you feel even more.
You got
awkward,
a year of it.
Jim, this is Casey here, and so if I can just offer you a little bit of advice over the next year and month or so, if you could just, on a personal level, move closer to the world, my friend, and just take a little bit of time. If you move closer to the world, my friend, you'll see. Do you know what I'm saying?
Let me say one thing, by the way. This is very important. Casey.
Okay.
Yeah.
the man who hired me at Channel 6 said the smartest thing someone can do in this industry who is looking, to get a good start in their profession is to work for a good television station and to work for a successful television station. I have been blessed to have had the opportunity to work for, as far as I'm concerned, the best television station in America, to work with colleagues who are unfailingly devoted to their craft, who have been competent, who have been
on Fox Good Day right now.
The cattle call and you get in line with the whatever your letter is. And other people love when airlines, hey guys.
Hey. Morning, guys.
Well, American Airlines is rolling out this new technology to stop passengers from boarding early, group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They have it by group.
And if you go early, an audible noise goes off. This person is trying to board too early. What do you think of that, Preston?
I love it. Love it. Shame on you. Hate people like that.
It is the worst because the whole thing is designed to board in a way. And what they'll do, it's the same thing as the people who put their luggage, in the overheads trying to, on the front of the flight when they're not supposed to do that and eat up all the space. Just follow the rules.
We're all cattle at this point.
Yes.
Let's all just be this way for a moment.
We all move together.
Yes.
Well, they also, they have it all figured out. They have a system. Why do you think you know better than the industry would know?
You probably do, but that's their system, and just go by it. Because everyone... Go ahead.
Well, there's incentive, though. I think some people are doing it intentionally. One, I thought you could do it if you're with someone who has a higher group number.
No, I didn't know that.
But the other thing, too, is the later you go and board, the more likely you'll be forced to check a bag. You know what they say? If you're past group 5, sorry, but you got to check a bag. There's no more room.
Oh, I check like crazy now. It's not worth the pain.
Really?
But I did not know, Alex.
Can't do it.
Are you saying that if you're traveling with someone who's in a different zone that is before you, you can board with them? Because I've traveled with my wife, and my wife has been ahead of me, and I did what I was supposed to do. I boarded when I was supposed to board.
Well, no. I'm not the official American Airlines spokesperson, so don't let me.
No, you can't do that.
Excuse, but that doesn't mean it's a rule.
Okay, it's the Alex Holly rule.
So,
The other thing is, I why do you want to get on a plane any earlier than you have to? Why do you want, you know what I mean? I would wait till the last possible minute to get on that flight.
Well, I want to make my vomit bag hand puppet.
But it might be stowing your baggage.
God.
It might be sometimes they run out of room.
That's why for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't like checking bags. I refuse. I will do everything I can to not check a bag.
I'm with you, Alex.
For me, yes.
I've just acquiesced to the system. I'm like, I forget it. I'm very lucky too. Baggage isn't lost on me. I don't bring a lot to begin with, so I'd rather just go. Yeah, that's how I do it.
I hate waiting though. It takes forever when you just want to go and start your vacation. Instead, you got to wait for the to come around and then fight with people to pull it off the belt.
Oh God.
Hey guys, this is probably
if it comes at all.
This is probably a dumbass question, but why don't they load the plane back to front?
I know this.
Okay.
They have done studies that is not the most efficient way to do it. Believe it or not.
Huh?
Really?
Yes, I read that they have. This has all been calculated.
That's
and
what I
that
said.
There's a system for it, and it's not all back to
It
front.
has nothing to do with the people paying far more for first class, and they want to make sure they keep coming back and paying that amount.
Mm-hmm.
No, people get in first class because of that. I mean, that's part of the convenience of it. But as far as efficiently loading the plane after that's done, they do it. It's kind of a scattered thing. I read this story a while back that is the most efficient way to do it.
You know why I would board early? Because in first class, they bring you cocktails.
Yes.
Hey, is the Mooshaloo thing on for tonight?
It is. It is Mutiny on the Mooshaloo. Thanks so much for asking. It is benefiting Max Fund, my wife's charity. I think you've been out to that, Mike. Maybe
I have, yes.
Yes, and it's a lot of fun. Pierre Robert will be there as well. And it is it benefits the homeless and abandoned camp population of Philadelphia. And your one ticket price get you everything. And there's a lot of, let's talk about cocktails, a lot of liquor and a lot of food. And then the Marshallu is a great place. And it's all been donated by the vendors. So it helps all go to the animals. Thank you for asking. And tickets are available on our website.
Wonderful.
See you guys. Thank you. All right.
We'll see you tonight. Good day, everybody. It is Tuesday.
All right, we got to get a look at traffic, so let's do that. Kath, what you got going on this morning, please?
We have jam traffic on the Blue Route, northbound 95 to the Media Bypass, southbound from the Mid-County tolls to the Schuylkill Expressway. 95 southbound heavy from Cottman into Bridge, and then from Aramingo to Girard on the southbound side, there's an accident that's blocking the left lane right at Girard. Northbound side, slow from Cottman to Woodhaven. That accident cleared. 30 bypass eastbound at 282. That accident cleared as well. Schuylkill Expressway eastbound backing up 202 into Belmont, the Boulevard to the Vine. Westbound Passyunk to South Street, the Boulevard to Gladwin. Morris Road at Butler Pike in Upper Dublin Township. We've got an accident there. On the White Horse Pike westbound at Summerdale in Camden, we've got the right lane closed because of a gas main break. That's in Camden County. 42 north slows Blackwood Clementon Road to 55. 55 northbound backing up Deptford to 42. This traffic report brought to you by the Jewish Federation of North America, November 10th. Join the Jewish Federation of North America in Washington, D.C. for Stand Together, a free ticketed event to foster strength and resilience for the Jewish community. Visit standtogethernovember10.org. And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Bud Light. Join Marissa tomorrow night. She's going to be from 7 to 9 at the Bud Light Thursday night kickoff of the Irish Rover Station House, and that's in Langhorne.
Nice.
And you can enter for your chance to win a pair of Eagles tickets courtesy of Bud Light. A 24-year-old student partying in picturesque Mallorca, Spain, was likely crushed to death in a garbage truck and then incinerated after falling into the trash bin.
Isn't that horrible?
Agustina Rubina Medina had been missing for more than 2 weeks after she vanished during a night out with friends in Palma, the capital city. Now the National Police of Spain have a theory. The probably inebriated student passed out while digging around in a trash can for possibly her phone and was scooped into a garbage truck, crushed in the truck's garbage smasher, and finally dumped into an incinerator.
They say that occasionally in cities, some of the homeless population will get into a dumpster for protection and then fall asleep, and this has happened.
A worker at a shop near a bus stop on Medina's Rude home said that the girl, who was visibly drunk, had stopped to buy a bag of chips just before midnight. And shortly afterwards, a witness who had been at the bus stop told cops that they saw her handbag and blouse neatly arranged by the trash bin. Tracking data showed her phone fixed to that spot for around a half hour before moving to the incineration plant, where it went dead. The timeline matches travel records from the garbage truck. Police later found human skeletal remains among the ash of the incinerator plant and are working to determine if they belong to her or not. Cops added that she was a thin woman with a very low tolerance for alcohol, worsened by medication that she had been taking as well. Terrible.
I can only hope that whatever happened, she was out while it was happening.
I hope so. Speaking of losing your phone, a woman who tried to retrieve her lost phone from between boulders in Australia's Hunter Valley became stuck upside down for 7 hours before she was rescued earlier this month.
People have died being inverted that way.
Just the bare soles of the woman's feet can be seen in photos of the incident posted on social media.
I bet you her feet look better than mine.
The woman had been walking with friends on a private property when she dropped her phone, and somehow, as she tried to retrieve it, she slipped face first into a 10-foot crevice between two large boulders. Her friends tried for an hour to free her, but eventually they gave up and they called for help. Police said emergency services were called about a 23-year-old woman who had become trapped while attempting to retrieve her phone. For the next 7 hours, police, ambulance, fire, and volunteer rescue crews tried to free her. Several heavy boulders were removed to create a safe access point, and the rescuers built a frame to perform what was becoming a very delicate operation. With both feet now accessible, the team faced a challenge of navigating her out through a tight S-bend over the course of an hour. And a winch was used to move the 1,100-pound boulder to free the woman, and she was finally released around 4:30 in the afternoon that same day.
So I assume during those 7 hours she had to pee.
I don't know. Miraculously, she escaped only minor scratches and bruising.
Wow.
The woman whose name has not been made public was taken to the hospital for observation. Her phone, however, remains trapped between the rocks.
Do you remember the story about the person who died? They were on the inverted coaster, and it was for so long that they just died.
Yeah. And remember, sometimes it ain't worth it. Your phone. Just let it go.
Yes.
Get a new one, unfortunately. Reena Kumar, a domestic helper in India, was unhappy about constantly being reprimanded by her employer. In an act of revenge, the 32-year-old mixed her own urine into dough meant for making chapati and rotis, reportedly causing the family to fall ill. She had been working with the family for 8 years, and all began when they were getting worried that a few members in the household were facing health issues. Upon recommendation from a doctor, the family decided to eat only home-cooked food in hopes of their conditions improving. However, there was little or no change in the health situation. The family's suspicions were aroused as Reena was the only person who prepared their food at home. And a camera that was discreetly installed in the kitchen. The family saw the video, and they were shocked by what they saw. A 44-second clip allegedly showed the footage of Reena getting caught in the act while preparing food in the kitchen with her body partially obscured. She appears to lift her top and bend over for several seconds before bringing a bowl to the other side of the kitchen.
You were pissing in our curry.
On Monday, the family reported the helper to police. Reena initially refuted allegations being leveled at her, but she ultimately confessed after she was shown a clip of her in the act.
So at least it wasn't like in the movie The Help, where you had a poop pie.
Police arrested Reena on Tuesday, and she could face a prison term of up to 2 years, a fine, or possibly both. This is a terrible story, man. A surfer lost her life off the waters of Indonesia, West Sumatra's coast, Indonesia's West Sumatran coast, after a freak accident with a swordfish. Sources said the Italian surfer, Giulia Manfrini, was hanging 10 when a swordfish jumped out of the water in her direction, and it pierced her chest and killed her.
What are the friggin' odds of that?
Yeah, 2 of Manfrini's friends were nearby. They tried to offer first aid, but soon realized there was no way that she could be saved. And the surfing community is all offering up tributes and stuff,
That's
but that is just
insane.
an absolute freak
They
accident.
say the way Steve Irwin died with the Stingray, that was as improbable as could be. He just happened to be at the wrong angle, and it pierced his heart.
Yeah. All right, here's the lighter story to end on. This sucks on multiple levels. In Prosper, Texas, Daniel Roca was in the market for a new truck. So he walked into Longo Toyota to take a test drive. Moments after leaving the lot of the dealership, he was pulled over by police and ticketed for operating a vehicle without a license plate. The officer also reportedly told Roca that this has been an ongoing problem with these dealers, and the only way was to make them abide is to start ticketing the customers.
Come on.
And with that, Roca was handed a ticket for $250. He's the one doing the test drive.
Yeah.
According to Roca, the dealer offered to repay Roca for the ticket, but only by adjusting the vehicle estimate to factor in the cost of the ticket if he bought it.
That casts a pall on Toyota-thon.
Which the dealership general manager denies. A loophole in Texas law makes it so that consumers can be liable for these tickets even if it's the mistake of the dealership to not have plates on the vehicles being driven.
Dude, that is
lame.
A crappy loophole.
Yep, and that is what I have in the bizarre file. We've got a secret text word prize. We're giving away tickets to see Daughtry performing Saturday, November 30th at Franklin Music Hall. So text word secret to 39333 for Daughtry.
My daughters?
And we will see if you win by the end of the program. Raven-Symone's joining us a little bit later. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
Insistent on being fair, being right, who have really paid so much attention to the little things that become enormously important. They have made me much better, seem much better than I am over the years. I have been the luckiest guy in this industry. People, focus on the man or woman who is sitting at the anchor desk reading the news. And the fact is that our most important job is to represent the hundreds of people whose work and toil and devotion go into every newscast. I've had, even right now, I mean, my 6 o'clock producer, Jamie Shore, my 11 o'clock producer, Laura Mamarella, our executive producers, Matt Dennis, people like this who the public never gets to know. They're brilliant. They are, they're devoted. They are devoted not just to the task, but to the industry and to the constant effort to make Channel 6 not just a good news station, but a good member of this community, a good citizen. And we're very proud of that. And I am not just proud of my work, and I am, but I am proud to have been a member of an effort on the part of hundreds of people over the course of the decades. And I've heard from a lot of these my former colleagues over the last 24 hours. It has been great to touch base with people whom I haven't talked to or had communications with for a number of years, and it just brings to my mind that if a television station is successful, it's because it has had great leadership over the course of time, and it has had people of great character and people of great motivation, in addition to the fact that they're really good at their jobs. And, I've been the beneficiary of all of that. And
I'm sure they would say the same of
the
you.
luckiest guy.
Yeah.
I'm the luckiest guy in this business. I really am. I feel that way, and it's absolutely true.
Well, we can relate. I mean, I'm sorry to jump in.
No, absolutely. Go ahead.
But as you were describing that about 6 ABC, WPVI, that's how we feel about WMMR. It's
Yes.
the same thing. It's a wonderful environment and a blessing to be able to say that.
You guys would understand
Yeah.
better than anyone else I could be talking to. Absolutely.
You know what, Jim? I'll say this, and I look forward to that in your time after the news desk, where I can finally see you at a Sixers game being ejected for overly razzing the opposing team.
In my younger life, that happened all the time.
Oh, really?
So, Jim, for Camp Out for Hunger 2022, you'll be on the edge of retirement at that point.
Yeah.
And you can really do whatever you want. We got the can drop. We'll bring back the chili cannon. We can do a stunt. Whatever you want.
His nights will be open.
You'll
Yes.
be free. So if you a year from now, just put that on your calendar.
Hey, you started in radio a bit, so we're welcoming you back.
Hey, I was the guy who, set fire to my colleague's newscast, while he was reading it on the radio. I'm sure all of you guys have had that experience. And that was the 24-year-old Jim Gordon.
We love that.
Jim, I know that you are a huge Sixers fan. Have you had the opportunity to ring the bell before a game yet?
They asked me to do it last year, and it was much fun. And apparently, this whole situation over the last day or so has prompted them to think that maybe it would be a good idea to do it again.
Hell, I'd put you on the team.
I'm looking forward to it. It was so much fun, and if it happens again this year, that'll be great.
Excellent.
Probably going to be a done deal on that one.
Well, Jim, we hated to hear the news, but we are happy for you, and we're happy the way that you're choosing to do this. So we get a year to spend and mull this over. So I'm sure we'll have another conversation with you down the road a bit as we get closer and reminiscing a little bit more. But we just wanted to say thank you and also say congratulations to you, and we just appreciate you so much. So thanks for coming on this morning.
You guys are great. Thanks for having me, and we'll see you for Camp Out, right?
You got it. Absolutely. Excellent. All right, thank you. Jim Gardner, everyone. There you go. Something else, man. Let me go to Michael here. Hey, Michael, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just hanging out. Good morning, What you doing over there, buddy?
What are you doing
Just
over
good morning,
Good morning.
Yeah, no, I have a home office.
You're gonna have to hang on a second.
Look it.
Just hanging out. Good morning it.
Good morning it. Look it. It's good morning it outside. Jesus.
Oh my God.
Hey, Michael. Good morning it.
The Cabbage Patch, though, was such a huge hit, and they smelled nice. They smelled like baby
a bit
powder.
like babies.
And so
that was like fight over them at the store during Christmas.
Right.
time.
Oh, there were
'Cause they
bulls.
They would release new ones.
Kathy, that Schwarzenegger movie,
Jingle All the Way.
That is predicated on those famous toy store brawls over Cabbage Patch dolls.
But the cool thing about Cabbage Patch, they all had Xavier or whatever the guy's last name's
on the butt.
They all had a tattoo. They were all branded.
the Cabbage Patch dolls were part of the Nexium cult.
But so I have a very vivid memory of I got my first Cabbage Patch doll. I couldn't wait. I was 10 years old. I got him for my 10th birthday. You get the birth certificate, and I was able to rename him, right? So you send that thing, and you get the birth certificate back. And so mine was named Casey Jr. I was so excited to get this thing, right? And
the Cabbage Patch doll,
Cabbage Patch doll. I was so because it was the thing. I was 10 years old too.
Right.
It was the thing. It was the thing that everybody had and whatever. My neighbor across the street, and I'm going to say your name. Your name's Wayne, and you're a piece of trash because he called me the slang word for a gay person.
Because you had a doll?
Because I had a doll. He was an adult, Kathy. This dude is probably like 30 years old. Called me, and I was so happy about having this thing for my birthday.
That's terrible.
And he called me
terrible.
that. Terrible.
What a jerk. How old were you? And
I
how
was
old were you?
10 years old.
10 years old.
And it was my birthday.
What a dick.
What a
I know, but like, oh my God.
Where's that dick now?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Wayne.
All right.
Terrible person.
How many times you asked that question in your life, Kathy?
God, where's that dick now?
When I need it.
There are so many dicks that I'm wondering where they are.
Yes. All right, back to toys.
All right.
Toys.
Time.
So Casey's in therapy now.
American Girl dolls.
I'm out of it now. I'm out of it.
And then there was we already did another pre-screening. Like Marissa hosted that, right?
She hosted it last night at the AMC Fashion District.
It was last night, and then Casey hosted a screening last week
At the same exact place.
for the movie Free Guy.
Yeah.
And while we were on vacation, we got a text from Casey out of nowhere
Yeah, what did I
explaining that things didn't go quite the way he wanted them to.
So if it's possible to suffer a concussion without actually hitting your head, that's what I think you experienced, Casey.
Yeah. And so I don't want to. I'm hoping.
I'll find the text.
Okay,
Here. I'll read it.
I'm hoping that I didn't lead you guys down in the wrong direction of where you think this story is going to go.
No, we don't know anything. We know that, but it was so heartfelt, the text you sent out, that we knew it had to, because there have been similar situations in all our lives. But this one seemed like, wow, this really had to be a little bit more.
Yes. So I have the text here.
Okay,
it
go
says,
ahead.
"Oh my God, I'm at the screening for Free Guy." And by the way, I sent you this text. I'm still there. I have not hosted the screening yet. Okay, I'm still there. I have already embarrassed myself, and I needed to go somewhere and be by myself, decompress for a second, and then I had to admit to somebody what an ass I am, and just to sort of make myself feel a little bit better. And guess what? It didn't help. I still felt terrible. And I said, so they asked me to hype up the crowd and then introduce one of the stars of the movie. So this guy named Joe Keery, who plays Steve from Stranger Things, is in the movie Free Guy.
Yeah.
He was there to introduce the film, and I was there essentially to introduce him.
Right.
So I had come back I was on vacation in Wildwood. I had come back just to do this. I thought it was a really cool experience.
Real quick, had you met him at this point, or is he still?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
By the way, he seems like he's awesome. I love that character, Steve from Stranger Things. He seems like I've seen him interviewed before. He seems like a cool guy.
He was a great guy.
Okay.
And I will say that, categorically, he was a great guy, and the movie is hilarious. It's a great movie. And the movie had been on the shelf for a year.
Yes.
They wanted a theatrical release, and so they were like, we're just going to wait.
Only theater.
And only theater. So, and then I wrote, I just had a classic embarrassing moment. It's a classic shut the F up, Casey, and walk away kind of a moment. I'm pretty embarrassed, but it's also a really funny story. So,
you said you weren't sure if it was going to translate on the air.
I'm not sure if it's going to translate on air.
Okay.
So,
well, let's hear it.
Well, deliver it in the original Farsi.
Right.
All right, so here's the deal. This movie was at the Fashion District, the old Galleria, the AMC there. It had never been there. By the way, what they've done to the place, the whole Galleria, the Fashion District, is awesome. It's really, really nice. So I get there. Joe had gotten there earlier than planned.
From the movie company.
But I had also gotten there an hour early, so I decided to walk around a little bit.
Right.
Side story, but it also is part of the story. I went to a place called Wetzel's Pretzels. Have you guys ever heard of Wetzel's Pretzels?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I love Philadelphia Pretzel Factory, and I love Annie Ann's.
Yeah.
Wetzel's Pretzels is like the best pretzel I have ever had in my entire life. And I was so happy with myself for going, you know what? I've never had a Wetzel's pretzel. Let me stop by and try one, right? Hey, me. And this thing was amazing.
And you were really proud of yourself.
And I was really proud of and I couldn't believe how it was big.
Oh, is this hand shocked?
Yes. It was amazing. And I'm sitting there, I'm eating this thing, and I'm going, I think I need to open a franchise. I'm like, this is like I have just discovered gold for the first time. That was like amazing. So I get done eating the pretzel, and Hannah from Allied Advertising is she's my handler, and she's
MMR.
All right, thanks, Kath. So stories around our area, they fall into a thing we call the city beat.
Scoobity wow wow, he's the man with the super delicious feet who can't be beat. Preston Elliott.
And now we heard the story this morning.
Yeah, I shared the
full
foot
story.
Yeah, Kathy hates my feet.
I don't hate your feet. They're just a little lanky for
They're
me.
a little lanky. He's got lanky feet.
He's got lanky feet.
So Kathy did mention this in the news. Floss Stingle. She is the woman that voiced the "Watch the Tram Car, Please."
Watch the tram car, please.
That's her. She lives in the Wildwood area, by the way. She made the recording in 1971, and she's never been paid for it.
It's iconic.
Yeah, it's more than 50 years that's been playing as the tram cars make their way up and down the Wildwood Boardwalk. She had said, as Kathy was stating earlier, man, I was dating at the time, worked for Ramagosa, who owned the tram cars, and I just spoke into a recorder, and it has been used ever since. And now she's suing the city and several other entities that she says have benefited from the use of her verbal instructions, which they say plays like 6,000 times a day in the summer.
And it's used for like souvenirs as well, right?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. So now that they've made it into some items that you can purchase, she's really got an issue with that, because it's using her voice. She said it was only last year. This is her lawyer's name is Amika Igwu. Said she's not been paid a single penny for this. All she's received are free tram car tickets, and she usually gives those away. So the stores, so we're talking, the suit is against the Wildwood Boardwalk Special Improvement District, which purchased a tram car system, the Wildwood Historical Society, Maurice Piers, and St. George's stores, because they sell tram merch, including plush tram cars that speak when you squeeze them. And I assume that it uses the exact same recording.
What's the specific dollar amount? Are they in fact specifying a dollar amount? Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, and I think these plush toys, this is just my opinion after reading the information, that's probably what brought it all about. That now they're selling merchandise that they're continuing to make money on with her voice.
Yep. So the recording was made before the Copyright Act of 1972, which is going to make things difficult. And in 2010, she tried to do a copyright.
Yeah.
But because the recording was made before 1972, it was denied for that purpose.
So there are a number of things that exist in that time frame that are your SOL.
So I wonder why the lawsuit now then, because if she tried to copyright it, she couldn't. Does she have a leg to stand on?
You can always try,
Yeah, honestly, if you're buying a plushie toy of the tram car, are you doing it because of what the tram car looks like, or because it says "Watch the tram car"?
Probably
please?
that is it's a big sell on it. Certainly the thing actually looks pretty cute, but having that audio thing is also part of the sell.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if they really wanted to do a nice sort of listen, a lot of times lawsuits are brought about simply to just incite a payout. Here,
Absolutely.
you're right. So here you go.
Yeah, so maybe she won't end up getting residuals for this for continued use, but maybe there's some kind of a payout, which she probably deserves.
Yeah.
It's iconic. Everybody knows this, and it's going to throw a little bit of, maybe negative onto the groups that she's suing, and they might bow and go, okay, well, here's, $100,000, $200,000, whatever it may be. Some kind of dollar.
Some PR stuff into, and they can make a nice PR on their part.
It reminds me a little bit of the back and forth between the that couple that said they invented the Philly Fanatic a few years ago.
Yeah,
remember that? And they ended up just trying to get some. I think they were just trying to get some money out of the Phils.
Now they could, they could just easily do a new recording with someone else and put it out there, and people would go, they'd be bummed out, obviously, because of the nostalgia of it all. But over time, it's going to be fine. You know what I mean? It's not going to stop people from going to the boardwalk or visiting Wildwood, most likely, not in any significant numbers.
Well, they
could do that.
They had auditioned people, Preston. They had auditioned some people in the past, and it didn't work out.
Do we have a couple of those?
Yeah, they actually, the Forrest Gump. Do you have them there?
Yeah.
Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
My mama told me to please watch the tram car. And then Jenny got AIDS.
It was the wrong message.
Kind of a non sequitur.
Yeah, and then Quint from Jaws. Yeah,
Quint from Jaws.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Watch the tram car, please. Or don't. I really don't give a good goddamn.
He seemed not really concerned about your safety. And Dalton from a Roadhouse.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Your mama is a whore. And even she knows to watch the tram car.
That's the best one.
It's just too abrasive.
Hold on. Again.
Can we hear that again?
Again.
Your mama is a whore. And even she knows to watch the tram car.
Right? You can't have that playing 6,000 times a day.
It's a family place.
Gary Lauer did one too.
No. Oh, I can't wait for this.
Watch the tram car, please. And if you haven't noticed, I have 3 testicles.
Okay, of course. And James Earl Jones?
James, very dramatic.
Before he passed?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I beseech you with every ounce of my being, please be aware of the tram car.
Too dramatic.
Okay.
Yeah, way too dramatic.
Oh, he did a second one?
And it's just the real straight up,
Okay.
Watch the tram car, please.
Oh, that's
that
more
could have worked.
friendly.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got to hear Patrick Swayze one more time. That's just phenomenal.
Your mama is a whore. And even she knows to watch the tram car.
I think they have to go with that one. I mean,
By the way, those are all AI and copied and not real.
Yeah.
So just for the record,
I wouldn't mind being like a monorail driver. I don't think I would ever want to be a tram car driver. I think that would be too stressful. There's so many people on the boardwalk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh,
a
dude.
monorail, there's no one standing on the monorail.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why they have the message that plays over and over. Because
Calls your mom a whore?
Because, well, not the mom is whore. They play the Watch the Tram Car thing. Sometimes you will hear it played like 8 times in a row. Because there are people standing in the way and they don't realize they're not getting away, and they will play it over and
Watch
over.
the tram car, please.
And over and over.
Do you know what
Your mama is a whore.
Yeah.
And even she knows to watch the tram car.
I would say, that could get a little monotonous. You know what? Also, it's like in the airport when they're on the people movers, the golf carts that they're using, the modded golf carts. The beeping, that very distinct beeping, would drive me crazy.
I think actually, and I thought Stallone would be an obvious thing because Rocky and its association and the it's so close to here. But if we were to pick a Stallone, I would think Rambo yelling at you to watch the tram.
Watch it! Watch the tram, please!
You would get
out
out.
of the way! You want to get run over? Coming after me, and I'm getting run over by a tram! Fighting Charlie in the bush only to come back to get run over by a tram!
It's over, Johnny.
You won't be able to feel your legs!
You won't be able to feel your legs.
You won't be able to feel your legs when the tram car runs over them!
I do.
They should. Sorry, Case. It would be nice. I want this woman to get a little bit of something. I think she's owed that consideration. But have somebody who is, okay. God, the Geeter should have done.
Oh,
the Geeter should have done one. Wouldn't that have been great?
Or Bobby Darin. Oh, no. Who does the Wildwood Days? Oh, whoa. Oh, gosh.
Is it
it's like
Bobby Rydell?
No. It's like
Bobby Kennedy.
No, I forgot.
Can you watch the tram, please?
No, there's a statue of the dude outside of the
It's
inlet.
Bobby Rydell. It says it right there.
Okay, but
No, Preston.
No, he did a cover of it. The guy who did the original. There's a statue of him outside of the inlet.
Bobby Cortola?
Okay. But there's a mural of Bobby Rydell on the boardwalk.
Right. Okay.
Wildwood Days.
I might be don't ever trust my memory, ever.
Okay.
So I apologize for even speaking.
But where is said statue that you speak?
So there's a bar
It's
called
in Brazil. It's
the Inlet, and it's right there on the inlet of North Wildwood, basically when North Wildwood ends. And right outside of that, there's a statue of this guy. And I thought it was maybe he's the one who sang On the Way to Cape May. And that's.
All right, 1963, Bobby Rydell released the song, but in 1966, Bobby Cortola.
No,
but Bobby Rydell's version is the best known version.
Who sang On the Way to Cape May? Because the guy's name is like Shooty Buzzers or something like that. I forget.
Shooty Buzzers?
Yeah.
Maurice Buddy Nugent.
Yeah.
Maurice
Shooty
Buddy Nugent
Buzzers,
or
yeah.
Shooty Buzzers.
So Ted's cousin, Maurice. You listen for that new sound?
Okay.
Hey, Maurice.
Hey, Maurice. Listen to this. It's Stranglehold.
You know that sound you were looking for? Listen to this.
Don't nobody go nowhere.
I get confused between Bobby Rydell and Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons and all of those guys all the time.
Okay.
Do you know how you can remember Bobby Rydell? I don't know if this will help you. In fact, now that I'm saying it, it's probably the dumbest suggestion I've ever made. Bobby Rydell is in the movie version of Bye Bye Birdie. He is and that's probably not going to help you at all.
No, I just lose track of it. And he's Rydell High. He's named after him, right?
There it is. You know that new sound you're looking for? Well, listen to this. All right, so, okay. The statue that Casey's talking about is Thomas Francis Cozy Morley.
What did I say? I said Buzzy something. What did I say?
Buzzy Shooters.
He was...
But he didn't sing Wildwood Days.
I know. So I said I misremembered, and then I switched it to On the Way to Cape
So
May.
no one would know him, and it would not have any import to hear his voice.
Wait, he also didn't sing On the Way to Cape May.
No, but he prepared the taxes for the guy who did.
Oh, he did. No, it says he was the most noted for his version of the song On the Way to Cape May.
Oh.
He was popular with South Jersey residents and tourists. So,
Man, I apologize for the last 5 minutes of this conversation. I
apologize. It's okay. So
I can't believe you didn't play either song.
I was looking for something else.
So anyway, yes, we're going to see about the Wash the Tram car, and they could have someone else record it. And you're right, the Geeter would have been
perfect.
Probably the perfect.
I think the most inappropriate is Dalton. I think.
Let's hear you, Kathy.
Watch the tram car, please.
Oh yeah,
gosh.
Listen, I have my own version.
I would probably do a different inflection.
Yeah.
So we do live commercials and reads all the time. So inflections are, one of the things that we pay attention to. So she says, "Watch the tram car, please." If I were to do it, I would probably say, "Watch the tram car, please."
Yeah.
I would say, "Watch the tram car, please." That would be it. Watch the tram car, please.
It's a little bit of a warning. Gentle.
Yeah. It's a little bit more of a warning instead.
Tram car, come back. It's going to run you over.
The way she says it is kind of like, "Watch the tram car, please."
You idiot.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you next Tuesday.
I don't know.
Like there needs to be
The
a
tram car, please.
Yeah, I think I will.
You can't
bitch.
change it too
Watch the
much.
tram car, please.
Preston, it's
I know.
iconic. You know what I mean? So if they were to get somebody else to re-record, I think it would have to be the same.
Kind of sounds a little bit like Selena Gomez. We were talking about her earlier off the air. She's kind of got that little one. Watch the tram car, please.
Watch the tram car, please.
Also,
Tram car.
I wonder what she was recorded on at the time in '71.
They said that they just held a recorder up to her.
Okay,
and
so a reel-to-reel recorder. Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. So, all right. Well, anyhow, we will obviously be following this story and get an update to you when we find out if there's any movement forward in this particular lawsuit. All right. Another City Beat story for you this morning.
There we go. Watch the tram car, please.
So, our old friend Carly Lloyd, retired U.S. soccer star, announced the birth of her first child. Long journey, too, with infertility struggles that she opened up about in the spring.
You know what they named the child?
No.
Cozy Morley.
Cozy Morley Lloyd. Lloyd, by the way, wrote on Instagram on Monday that she and her husband, professional golfer Brian Hollins, welcomed daughter Harper Ann Hollins on October 18th.
I love the name Harper for
That's a good name.
girl, yeah.
She said, "So very grateful for this amazing blessing in our lives," she wrote on Instagram. By far the hardest thing I've ever endured, but the best thing I've ever done. And we just can't get enough of this little peanut. We love you so much, and we'll do our best to give you the tools necessary to in life to be a good human being.
So imagine when you guys have been through the process, you must be awestruck when this thing that
my God
came out of, at least for you on your level, was a series of grunts.
Yeah. That's all that was. It was
becomes this wonderful thing.
I'm going to take a nap.
Do we still have any chicken in the fridge?
I have some friends that have gone through IVF over the last few years, and one set of friends lost the baby about like 6 or 7 months in, and it's just it's expensive, it's exhausting, and now they have 2 healthy, beautiful babies, and it's the greatest thing in the world. But it's so emotional, it's so tiring, it's so expensive, it's so much money, and so for Carly to be able to have this with her husband, it really is a wonderful blessing.
Kristen down the hall at Ben FM, she posted some some of the stuff from IVF that I guess she had in her house, and it was like so much stuff.
Wow.
I think it was on whatever was like IVF day or something like that.
Rainbow Baby Day. maybe?
Rainbow Baby Day, something like that. But she posted a picture, and it was like it looked like it took up the entire counter.
Wow.
But 42, she's 42, and just
did it say 42? Did I say that? Yeah, she's 42. Wow. They began trying to conceive in 2022, and then she faced a race against her because her 40-year-old biological clock, and fertility begins to decline by 30, and by 40, healthy women on average only have a 5% chance of getting pregnant.
That's wild.
Each menstrual cycle. So she began meeting with Louis Minara, a fertility doctor at the Center for Reproductive Medicine and Fertility in Voorhees, and upon his recommendation, began her journey with in vitro fertilization, which is where they create embryos by mixing eggs and sperm in a lab dish. She underwent 2 unsuccessful rounds of IVF and described the emotional toil that she felt in the process. She said, I felt all the emotions during my career, stress, worry, fear, anxiety, but I never felt all the emotions that IVF brought on. I felt completely out of control. It is an indescribable roller coaster unless you go through it. But they decided to go one more time, a third time.
Oh, wow.
And they were overjoyed to find out that she was pregnant in January.
Feel those kicks? He's going to be a soccer player.
Is that them when they found out?
Yeah, that's when they found out. So that's great news for her. Very, very happy. So she's now a mom, and she works as at Fox Sports correspondent and soccer analyst.
Listen to these accomplishments that she, over the course of her career. 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 2-time FIFA World Cup champion, 2-time FIFA Player of the Year, 4-time Olympian, 2008 Summer Olympics, 2012 Summer Olympics. I mean, it's just one after another after another. Her career is so impressive.
Yeah.
She got a shout out from Hope Solo's butthole.
Oh, wow.
Oh, hey.
Do you have that? There it is. Isn't that nice? That was very sweet. Sweet of her. So anyhow, I got this story out of the Philly Voice. Thought I would pass that along to you. Let me go to another City V story. This is a very, very quick one, but this has to do with Pennsbury High School.
Oh, we know a graduate.
We do, and they know the graduate, too. So the Pennsbury High School Long Orange Line Marching Band is paying tribute to their favorite alumna with their field backdrops for their show this year. So I saw a picture of this, and they have this large display that goes up behind them. It's like a big backdrop, a huge curtain of sorts.
Yes.
And it's building facades. Did you see this?
No, I did not.
All right. So it says, one of the buildings, it says P&S Romano. So they added that, our show and Kathy, into their show
Why
this
is
year.
this the first I'm hearing about this?
Because the season is just getting started.
Yeah,
Is that it?
Yeah, I guess the band director, the marching band director, just emailed this to me, and it was kind of like a nonchalant email, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Yeah. So if you happen to be going to a game with Pennsbury or any one of their, the marching band performances, because of course they do. They'll play competitions and things like that. Then you will see the Preston and Steve show and Kathy Romano represented in their show.
That's
2024-2025 show.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's really, really cool.
And they have 2 band competitions, one on October 26th at Abington High School, and then on November 3rd, they're in the U.S. Bands Championship in Allentown at the J. Bernie Crum Stadium. And then, guys, they're going to be at the 6 ABC Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Oh, my God. We should all go, or at least Preston and T should go. Hey, Press, I got a question for you. The thing that I sent you, was it a drum corps competition?
I don't know if it was a competition or not, but it was a performance.
Okay.
But
All right.
What?
I mean, no, I think they're cool. The whole,
drum corps are incredible. I had dreams of being in a DCI group when I was younger, but there was no way I was good enough. They're the best of the best. So there's loads of different drum corps.
What comes to mind when you think of the country's best trombone corps? Oh, there really is it.
Actually, do you remember at Hershey Park there was an all trombone group that traveled around?
Oh, that's right.
Remember they came by
They
and
were
played
awesome.
some
Yeah,
songs
they were
for
very
us.
good.
Two things real quick. Have you ever seen Steve Trombone Shorty perform?
No.
So he's a legendary trombone player, and he has a lot of fun up on stage, and so he's going up and down with the trombone. It's really impressive. He's played with Dave Matthews a few times, and so that's how I know who he is. But Preston, did you see the drum corps outside of the Philly Portal last night?
No.
So there was a whole bunch of people. They were doing like the drum corps stuff to the Philly Portal, which I guess
is
you're
next.
about to talk to.
Yep,
Here we
go
go.
ahead. So they were doing that?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, this information was sent to Kathy via Tina DeMeglio, and she writes, loyal fan, Delco native, Bucksco teacher.
Ah, okay. All right. There's a double dip in there.
Yeah.
And this is not a. I want to talk about my school real quick because I just hosted bingo at Cardinal O'Hara High School for their football program on Saturday night, and they informed me and the entire crowd that night that when they have their first playoff game, it's going to be on November 1st, I think against Archbishop Ryan. It's a home playoff game. They're doing a Camp Out for Hunger night, so they want people to bring non-perishable food items to the football game next Friday night at Cardinal O'Hara.
That's excellent. Thank you, Cardinal O'Hara, and thank you very much, Pennsbury High School
thank you.
marching
That is very
band.
cool.
Yeah. Long Orange Line. You didn't need to do that. That's really cool.
And a bit of information, the reason that the marching band is called the Long Orange Line is because of the size of the band. You know, it's such a huge school, and they're internationally recognized as like one of the, a large marching band.
So when a band lines up end to end, it's called a company front.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get a really big band that does a company front, it's like, it blows you away.
Yeah,
and that's when
yeah.
you hear like the really loud boom. They just hit the big notes.
Is it like 100 yards long? Is it like the whole
Yeah,
football
it can
field?
be.
Kat, how many
Absolutely.
students are at Pennsbury?
You know what? I
Is
don't
it
know
like-
what it is now, but I graduated with around like 900, 1,000.
In your class alone?
Yeah.
Wow.
My graduating class at Comac High was 1,100.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Now we can talk about the portal because this is another City Beat story. Yeah, the portal made its official Philadelphia debut yesterday. People in the 3 European cities with active portals were poised to welcome Philadelphia to the fold. By the way, real quick, Nick just pulled this up. Pennsbury is the 10th largest high school in the state of Pennsylvania.
Wow.
That's a biggie. So in Dublin, Ireland, folks were holding up flags. In Lublin, Poland, they carried Hello Philly and Lublin welcomes Philly signs. And in Vilnius, Lithuania,
I got nothing for Lithuania, guys.
people smiled and waved. And you're playing German music for Poland, too.
You can do
That's
the
all
Hunt
good.
for Red October music for Vilnius.
He's Lithuanian by birth.
He was born
He's
in
not
Vilnius.
Russian.
Yeah,
You're right.
Captain Ramius.
Yeah,
So we're getting all of the cities. So as this got moved around, it was, I believe, one city at a time. Like when it was in New York, you saw Dublin.
It was just Dublin, yeah.
Yeah, so we're seeing all of the cities that are involved.
To sit there and I was watching some of it, it is fascinating. There is a different vibe that takes place with the immediacy. The fact that it does look like some sort of a transporter device is very cool.
Yeah.
I'm just worried, of course, about it
Somebody doing something stupid.
getting ruined. What is that center? What is that material? Is it a TV screen? Is it, a little
'Cause
lighter?
it's cracked, but they're going to fix it. But they also, as you pointed out, Preston, they have an AI system that is supposed to be able to target inappropriate behavior and shut it off.
Yeah, exactly. Or somehow another censor it or blur it or something like that.
Everything's been very benign and congenial.
Well, it's been one day.
It's been one day.
That's a record for
Does
us.
it say how long it'll be here?
No, I don't. Kath, I'm not really sure about that. But a couple of 100 people packed in front of it, and they had their cell phones and laughing and cheering and waving back to everybody.
I was wondering about the notion we could have no one that works here anymore, but to get someone down there to hold up a sign and see if we can get a call
Oh,
Yeah.
we should get Jackie Bam Bam down there. You're like, we're going to rep Philly?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you held up a phone number in front of the portal,
right,
and said,
call this number to a live radio show in Philadelphia.
Okay.
I would love that.
I like that.
Yeah.
So if you're at the portal or on your way before our show is up, hold up our request line number. 1-800-232.
No, that's
Y100. That's Y100. 1-800-232. 100.3.
Go to the freaking number. It's not connected.
No, it's
215-256-62. No, that's not it.
2300 Empire.
I got carpet.
I like that.
Yeah. 215-263-WMMR.
Yeah.
So it says the portal will stay at Love Park through at least November 7th before it's moved to another location in Philadelphia, organizers said.
To another location in Philly?
Right.
Okay. So, yeah, on hand Tuesday at Tuesday's installation, people involved in bringing the portal to Philadelphia talked about their hopes for it. Joseph Callahan, a Philly native who works at Searite, an area technology firm, is one of the people who helped get it here. And he said, it's truly amazing when people get to see someone when you're walking by and there's someone on the other end. It really reflects the human connectivity and that we're all truly the same. Michael Neumann, who is the 2026 city director, sees Philadelphia as a good fit for the Portals project. Said it shows that Philadelphia is ready for big ideas, especially when those ideas tap into who we are. We're a city of unity. We're a city steeped in forging solutions that are innovative, and that's exactly what the portal is.
Do you remember that Twilight Zone episode, People Are Alike All Over, where he lands on a planet and everyone looks very human, and he's like, you're just like me, and they set him up in a house, and it turns out the house is a zoo cage.
Oh, jeez.
I don't remember that one. Wow.
People are like everywhere.
All right, let's see what else we have in the city beat. How about this one? Bart Blatstein is bringing the movies back to South Philly. The founder and CEO of Tower Investments says that he plans a 17-screen theater for the Riverview Plaza.
This is actually really good news.
Yeah.
It means that they are not dismissing that area, and having a nice big theater like that is very cool.
It was closed down in 2020 during the pandemic, and it will have the same number of screens as it did when it was closed. So they plan to redevelop the site at 1100 South Columbus Boulevard. And Blatstein's going to do it himself, unlike recent partnerships where he provided the property for others to develop. So it's going to be his project.
I've seen so many movies in that movie theater.
Yes.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, at Y100, that's where we used to always do our screenings.
All the time.
It was either there or like the Ritz 5 or sometimes the Ritz Bourse or Ritz East. But man, I was there all the time. And when it closed down.
X-Men. I saw Phantom
Hunger
Menace. No, I saw Hunger Games at the Boers.
Okay.
But at Riverview is over by where Philly Rock used to be.
Yeah.
Man, there was a bunch of them.
I saw, a bunch of the MCU movies, Star Wars movies, even later series. I'm really glad to see that this is happening. If Bart Blatstein is currently listening, please do the Anthony Wayne Theater next, because that one's been sitting empty since 2019, and it's a great theater, and I would really love to see somebody do what they did in Phoenixville with the Colonial for the Anthony Wayne in Wayne, PA.
So the Riverview will include 2 restaurant spaces and another small entertainment use as well. He said construction will begin at the end of this year and anticipated completion by the close of next year. He previously had conversations with Dave & Buster's about moving his location further up Columbus Boulevard to the site, but that no longer is part of the plan. The new Riverview would be the largest theater in South Philly and Center City. Currently, that honor is held by the AMC Theater in the Fashion District, but that 8-screen top-of-the-line theater will be demolished if the 76ers arena gets in there.
Do you know it's a bizarre memory I have coming out of a movie and going to the parking lot, the parking lot that's over, removed from the theater. And that's hearing Luke Perry had died for some reason.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. So otherwise, competition is limited to the Ritz 5 and the Philadelphia Film Society theaters in Center City, which feature First Run as well as Art House and Vintage Fair. When Blatstein originally opened the Riverview in 1991, the 9-screen movie complex was seen as an unusual play for that particular corner of the city. At that point, little new development was occurring in South Philadelphia. But the theater was successful, and he added 2 more screens later that year, and then the additional 6.
Do you know why that's very viable in the city. Some places are not so easy to get to because you can get on and off 95 pretty quickly.
Pretty close. Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty cool. So we have that to look forward to. And then I saw another story.
Another thing.
From the city. And this one is interesting. One of the most beloved video games released this year is a collection of 50 retro-inspired games that took nearly a decade to make, and a developer in the Philadelphia region was one of the major creative forces behind it. It's called UFO 50, and it came out on September 18th. It's on the Steam platform, and it is the 5th best-reviewed game of the year based on Metacritic review aggregator. And it has a score of 92. It sits just behind the big budget blockbuster Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So that's pretty strong company to be in.
Wow.
UFO 50 presents itself as an anthology of 50 games developed by the fictional company UFO Soft for its also fictional LX console. These games were quote-unquote made between 1982 and 1989 and span genres from quick arcade titles that can be played in minutes to massive role-playing adventures that take up to 60 hours to complete. So it's a pretty interesting concept for this.
So a lot of these are classic side scrollers.
Yeah, but it goes through a whole bunch of different types. So John Perry, a board and video game creator originally from Los Angeles, moved to Fishtown with his wife in 2018, now lives in Ambler in Montgomery County. Before making games full-time, he worked as a private tutor, but he teamed up with his childhood friend, Derek Yu, a California-based video game developer, best known for Spelunky. That's a game.
And a porn movie.
The compilation. And Perry and Yu have been developing games together since they were kids, including an action game called Eternal Daughter in 2002 and the 2014 card game The Barons. And according to Perry, creating a collection of 50 video games was Yu's insane idea, but it was one that allowed Perry to make up for lost time with his friend, also bringing in 4 other prolific developers and the team spent 8 years creating this game.
Jeez.
Wow.
They do take a long time.
UFO 50. So it includes in it, I'll ramble off a couple of the games that you would play. There's one called Minnie and Max. It's a platforming game about a girl and her dog who discover the ability to shrink. While in normal size, Minnie can walk around in a tiny room, but when she shrinks, she can explore a much larger world and embark on quests. There's another game called Rail Heist, and it pits train robbers against lawmen, but it is less action-oriented and more of a strategy game. It requires players to think carefully about their positioning, when to use their weapons, and how to navigate an environment with a sense of urgency. So these guys created this, and they're having tremendous success with it.
Good for them, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Out of Ambler. I thought that was pretty cool.
Make a game with us.
All right, one more story, and then we will wrap it up. This is more of a state story because it's from Western Pennsylvania, but it's pretty big. Dave and Carol Stelz are giant pumpkin growers, and they won the much-coveted Grower of the Year, or GOATY, at the 29th Annual Ohio Valley Great Pumpkin Growers Weigh Off. They weighed in 3 pumpkins at total, listen to this, 7,729 pounds.
So, Kathy, I don't know if you saw the picture, but there's them standing behind their pumpkins. And by the way, for a pumpkin to be judged, there has to be no crack in the pumpkin.
Right.
It has to be pristine. These things are just, it looks absurd. It looks like that old postcard that used to be the giant corn on the cob from Nebraska. They're just enormous.
I mean, how do they have to assist it as it's growing to, almost
Good
like
question.
lift it off of the ground so it doesn't crush under its own weight or anything like
Because
that?
that's what's starting to happen. I assume there are tricks to keeping the shell as hard as, or the outer shell as hard as possible to take that weight.
There's a house that I drive past on my way to and from work every day that every year I'm like, oh my God, that's right, they do this. But they're on a corner and they have a beautiful white fence, and then they have these giant pumpkins that they line the fence with. And I love it. It looks great.
Yeah.
So really, really big ones?
Yeah, I mean, not as big as these.
Well, you got to see all 3 of them together. They're amazing.
Yeah, these ones are maybe about half of the size, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, they're still
That's
pretty
still
big.
damn big, yeah.
And how expensive is one of those?
I don't know.
So, by the way, 7,729 pounds, that's about the size of an African elephant. That is how big these are.
Oh, my gosh.
Stelz, yeah, so it's 3 of them together. Weigh that. So, Stelz's largest pumpkin is 2,731 pounds. That's one. and it was just 18 pounds shy of the current U.S. and world record.
Remember the one that was disqualified last year because it did have a slight crack in it?
No, I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh, man. What's wild to see, you've seen where these people turn them into boats, right?
Yes.
And actually,
It's
as
awesome.
a single person,
Yeah.
little boat, and they'll take it out and throw it in a river or a lake and scoot around in it.
Anybody see this year's Family Guy Halloween special? Because
Not yet.
the entire basis of the plot is Joe, the neighbor in the wheelchair, grows one of these giant pumpkins, but they split it open, so Peter has to hide inside in order to make it weigh the proper amount. it's really, I think it's available on Hulu now, but it's hilarious.
So the farmer Stelt said that the world record could be a fluke, a stroke of luck. Grower of the year is awarded to the competitor whose top 3 pumpkins weigh the most. But last month he hinted that winning the Goatee might prompt him to retire and take Carol on a summer vacation finally. The award seems to have only fueled his pumpkin passion, though. He's not going to let the other people, the second place people, take his throne, so he's going to stick with it most likely.
The picture of the 3 of them side by side is up in the studio, and that gives you an idea of how enormous they are.
It does look a little like they're crushing themselves, slightly.
Yeah.
But Case, I looked up, and it doesn't really say too much information about anything special. Like, you are supposed to cover your pumpkin with a sheet to protect it. Like, obviously ideal temperatures of to grow pumpkins, the soil and all of that. But it doesn't say anything, other than that.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, are they expensive? Like when you want to get, let's say you want to get a pumpkin this size of.
You want to buy a 2,000-pound pumpkin?
Well, no, not like that, but something that would fit in a wheelbarrow or something like that.
Right. They're expensive. Just by going and getting, if you go and we're going to, you pick up your pumpkins for the holidays, you get something of decent size, it's going to be a couple bucks.
Well, and especially this year, the price of pumpkins is extremely high. So something that you want to put in a wheelbarrow, yes, it's going to be very high. The little mini pumpkins, just the tiny ones, are $3.99 this year.
Wow.
For one.
One little bitty one.
One little bitty. They used to be, you could get like 9 for $3.
Yeah, they're like 50 cents or something.
I actually said something to the lady at the garden center. I was like, $3.99. She goes, I know.
Yeah.
It's just the price of the pumpkin skyrocketed this year.
All right. Well, probably not the time to buy a 2,731.5 pound pumpkin. So
probably not.
That's it in City Beat. But thank you. Hopefully you got something from in and around our area. We do have to take a break. When we come back, Raven-Symone is going to be joining us. So stay right there. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve.
This whole story, guys, is once I got done introducing the film and I walked out of the movie theater, I went to go to Wetzel's Pretzels because I wanted to buy some more to bring home to my family.
They were closed.
It was closed! I was like, what did you do with all those extra pretzels that were in the display case?
When was the last time you remember an all-night pretzel place?
It wasn't that late.
Hey,
it wasn't even 8 o'clock.
Was it as quickly when they introduced you to Joe? Was it as quickly? Hey, man, how you doing? Hey, have you ever had Wetzel's Pretzels before? Was it that quick?
It was pretty close.
Yeah.
It was
okay.
pretty damn close.
That
I've seen you do that before.
Yeah.
I've seen you do that type of thing where it's like, and I know what you're doing. You're just looking to have a normal conversation.
It's an
with
icebreaker.
someone,
You're gonna charm them.
All right. Well, anyhow, we have to take a break, I think, right?
No, we do. As a matter of fact,
because otherwise I would go to these calls, but we have to.
No, we got to take a break.
The regional manager, Wetzel's Pretzels, is on.
Santa's got to go.
He's
Pretzels got to go.
The Northeast region and wants to talk to you about franchise opportunities.
Listen, the closest one here is at the Fashion District. I already checked, and they're in North Jersey, but that's the only one that is around here.
All right.
So
I can't believe the winner in all of this is Wetzel's Pretzels.
Right, big time.
You know?
You kidding me? And you got to swing this bigger for me.
All right. Yes, slower too. A slower cadence. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Yeah. Oh! You got 2! Yeah! And he's getting prepared again. He's like a panther waiting to pounce. He jumps in. 2, 3, 3. And he's doing the Irish jig. All right. Casey's spying his time. He's in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Retire!
Wow. That's how people die in this sport. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Andy did a herky.
And here we go. This is where it all comes together. All those years of yoga. 2, 3. Yes! Yes! I'd give that 4. I'd give that 4.
All right. Yeah. Squirrels have been laying down flat on their stomachs with their legs stretched out behind them and in front of them. Apparently, this slows them to a complete stop in the soaring temperatures. And though these small mammals might look like they're in stealth mode, it turns out they're trying to cool off. And Steve, it's called splooting.
Splooting.
Yes, squirrels have been splooting all over Texas.
Oh yeah.
And an expert said it's.
It's gonna be my regular Saturday night thing, baby.
He's gonna sploot.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna sploot.
I'm gonna sploot.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Dornbach is joining us. Good day, John.
Rockstar, thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Anytime, bud. So, dude, it's how long since you've been and performed Magic live? Has there been a pause on that, or we know you haven't been in the area performing in a little while?
Yeah, it's been about a year and a half, right? So we're just getting up and going and excited to do so.
I have to ask you because I mentioned this to Casey. I watched the series Hacks with Gene Smart, which I thought was very funny. You appear in that, correct? That's you as the magician in one scene, correct?
Yeah, it was one of those things where HBO called and they're like, "Hey, HBO Max," and the director's like, "Hey, we need a magician. Gene Smart's this comedian, and will you play yourself?" And I was like, "Wait a minute. So what you're telling me is you want me to be on an HBO Max HBO show as myself?" Yeah, I think I can make that happen.
Right. No, it was a cool scene because there was a big party and she's at this palatial estate, and Caitlin Olsen was there as well. And but that was, you had to be shooting that during COVID restrictions and stuff like that, right? Was there a whole bunch of, I mean, the party seemed packed, but I'm sure they took extra precautions.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, it's the insurance companies, right? So a ton of precaution. It's funny because it's like 6 seconds, right? It was like 5 days, you know what I mean? But it's like you get 6 seconds. What was really, really cool is when I used to play for the Bills, Chris McDonald, who's an actor in a ton of stuff. I love his stuff. He was Shooter McGavin. And
he's great.
He's from upstate New York, so he would go to a lot of games. So him and I would hang out like way back in the day. And so when I sat next to him, I was like, "Hey, Chris." He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm Chris. I'm like, "Dude, Dornbach, long snapper, Bills." He was like, "Oh my God!" It's kind of we got to hang out for a few days, and he's such a nice guy.
He seems like a great dude.
Well, your beard is more pronounced right now, so maybe that was part of it too.
Well, it's called children. The grays are coming in. Giving it a good shadow,
How many kids do you have now?
Yeah, one. I should have said child.
Oh, okay.
But a split personality. Yeah.
But my wife takes care of me too, so she has children.
She's got two.
Hey, John, when you're putting together your act, your show, and I haven't seen, you've performed for us many times here in the studio, but I've never gone to your actual live show. What's it like? Because there's various types of magicians. There are people who put on a big, lots of pyrotechnics and effects, and there's people, the ones that I find more impressive are the ones who are mainly doing sleight of hand and really blowing you away with their storytelling and all the stuff that goes along with that. What's your style?
Well, perfect intro because lucky for you, I'm a storyteller, sleight of hand, and we do some big stuff. So I'm really proud of the show. It's my life story. And so it's the ups and downs that I've had through life, the magic that I found along the way that got me out of it. It's inspiring. It's motivating. Look, we do some mind-blowing magic, obviously, because that's what I love to do. But I promise you it's not like this gratuitous magic show where you just dance around and want to be David Copperfield. I love that. I just don't want to be that.
Right.
It's funny because the first... I grew up with like Blackstone the Magician and all these, and Houdini, obviously, and all this stuff. And there was that sort of presentation, the presentation where there was a narrative that would start to move in, where there was a story told through the magic, started to happen, I guess. Maybe it was Doug Henning, one of the first, who kind of did like a connected narrative with the magic. Is that correct, John?
Yeah. And Lance Burton did an interview way back when, and it was basically like the hardest part about magic is to get people to care. If I do a dove routine, why do people care?
Right.
And my style has always just gone towards telling personal experience and life stories that obviously, so when you tell a personal story, people connect to it, people relate to it, and then people start thinking about things in their life that are similar, right? And so it's a way to trigger. And then all of a sudden you do magic and it breaks down this barrier, this wall, and people become vulnerable like kids. And so now what you say to me is 10 times more impactful. Look, I'm a big fan of your show. I'm a big fan of rock and roll. I wanted to be a rock star. I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't play an instrument. Check that off the old box. You know? But cards and magic became my instrument, and now the ballad or the jam can be whatever it is you say around it.
That's awesome.
John, did you happen to see a special on Hulu called In and of Itself with a guy named Derek Delgaudio?
First of all, huge fan of Delgaudio. I'm like the only magician that has not seen this yet. I have no excuse. I've been wanting to see this. I heard it's phenomenal.
It's just really super unique, and that's what I think is really cool about, you know, taking what you do and putting a unique spin on it. And he's very much tells the story of his life as well during that show.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to make a promise to the Preston and Steve show. I will be watching it tonight.
Okay, all right.
Nice.
But it's similar in your life story, which has so many. I mean, if you were to just get up and do a TED Talk about your life, that alone would be interesting. You have such rich fodder to draw upon for the magic. But as you start to develop a show and change it and alter it, and add illusions and tricks or whatever you like to refer to them as, where do you get the opportunity to go do that? Do you have a warehouse, or do you have, not that you're like David Copperfield making planes disappear or whatever, but do you have an actual lab or something that you go to where you work on this stuff?
Yeah, I have a lab. It's my house at Oak Brook Circle.
That's it.
That little garage over there on the side that we don't quite use, that we don't know what to do with the lawnmower, so we shove it in there.
And it's that simple. You just go in and a room in your house and.
Yeah, you know what? I got a great creative team, and so Blake Voigt, Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is the guy behind David Blaine, all his TV stuff for years and years.
Well,
we're really good friends. Yeah, we're good friends. But what these people are really good at is. When us three get in a room and we jam, it's like songwriting, right? Some people just gel, and it's important to know one another's style. And so they kind of get my style, and we just create stuff, which is fun.
You know, it's funny because so many musicians and magicians, and the words sound very similar, by the way, but you know, you'll take a chord progression and turn it a little bit and make it something new. And I get that impression as being the same with magicians. Okay, there's this old style trick. We're going to turn it, do this, put this narrative behind it, and make it something new. Is that a large part of what you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's like music. There's like 5 chords. Am I right?
Yeah.
I should know that. Six chords. Well, magic, there's 5 things you can do, and I should probably know these 5. You can disappear, you can reappear, you can change. And there's like 2 other things you can do.
Right.
So it's taking a spin on that.
You're getting a little too intricate for us.
Well, let me ask you. I was expecting manipulation. Some of these other
you change. You disappear. You come.
WMMR.
All right, thanks, Kath. A little bit. We're going to have Raven-Symone via Zoom in just a moment. Real quick, a shout out that says, hey, guys, this is from Trina Hirschberger, who said, good morning, so I was not awake yet. I woke up to 20-plus texts from some of my sisters, from my sister, saying, is that your friend Lori on the air? I love it. And I guess she called yesterday.
Okay.
I have to admit that I have not met anyone on YouTube, but I've made great friends for those I haven't met. I also have a community of friends through a page that I met through the Foo Fighter show. So she was talking about, and she wanted us to give a shout out to the YouTube gang, actually to Meat Man of Grandeur Band.
Oh yeah, he's that's his handle on YouTube is Grandeur Band. He's having surgery today.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So she wants to send out a speedy recovery and a shout out to her. So we're going to send that out. So
gets well soon.
Absolutely. All right, our guest is on the line. She's ready to go. We're excited about this because 2 things, we're fans of hers, and second of all, well, at least I love Scrabble.
Me too.
I've
watched the show. I like it. You know, I'm not a big fan of board games.
Please welcome Raven-Symone to the show. Good morning, Raven. Oh, wait, hang on. I have the wrong fader up now. I think we can hear you. Hi there, Raven. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Wonderful. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting. What a Philly.
Yes,
absolutely.
I happened to be going through the channels with my wife, and we came across your Scrabble show, and I'm like, okay. And again, I'm not a board game guy. I enjoy, Jeopardy is a great show, and a couple game shows I really like. And I'm like, how are they going to do Scrabble this way? And I'm like, they kind of nailed it.
Yeah.
It actually is played very close as you could get to the game with the way you're doing the show. Did you have input on that, or did they just bring it to you all in a package?
Sadly, I did not have input on it, but they did allow me to learn the game and play the game so that I could explain it better as it went on. And I'm jealous every single time they say action because I actually cannot play. I can only host. I'm so glad you say that because, like you said, a lot of the times when you play a board game for a long time and you watch it on TV, it doesn't translate all the way. And I think that we have a really cool balance between those who have never played Scrabble before and the OG Scrabble players. And the first round, it's for the people that might not have played Scrabble or love Scrabble. And that's just figuring out what the word is within these tiles. And then the work gets to happen in the second and third round when you have to place it on the board. But I'm so glad you watched it.
Yes, I watched it a couple of times. And I like the whole idea of the game night now because LeVar Burton has his Trivial Pursuit show as well, right?
Most definitely. And we all know that Mr. LeVar Burton is an educator, a mastermind when it comes to that. And I find myself, as egotistical as I am, watching both shows. After I'm done, I actually keep on the station a little bit longer. And it is so fun to be able to not only spell, but then also tantalize your brain with really cool information. And I think he does such a great job, and I love his set.
Yeah, he does a great job. Well, the Scrabble set is pretty awesome. And let me tell you something. I mean, listen, LeVar tried out for Jeopardy, and he admitted, I think his wife said, no, it's not for you. But this is for him. There is a skill set involved with being a game show host. And you do a very good job. You've got to keep the tension there a little bit. You've got to massage. You got to encourage the contestants. And so are you yourself a game show fan?
I am a game show and a game fan. My wife and I always say this, after we have a little bit of a spat, I'm like, bring out the bananagrams, bring out a game. Let's play something that brings us all together. But with my friends, I play spades and I play Texas Hold'em and we get really competitive. But yes, I've watched so many game shows. I watch the Game Show Network. I go all the way back to the 50s, and I'm not going to be able to recall the names right now because I'm on the fly, but definitely a fan of television.
Agreed, yeah. I'm really glad you brought up bananagrams because I played it for the first time this summer, and as it turns out, I'm a bananagram savant. I was so good at it. I can't believe it. And I had a really cool, because I was playing with my daughters, and a really cool moment last night because I've known you for basically your entire life, right? I watched you on The Cosby Show, and then I had children, and so I watched That's So Raven and Raven's Home. And so when I was talking to these guys last night, going over the rundown of the show today, I'm like, okay, so we have Raven-Symone at 9:08, and my 15-year-old hears me in the background. She goes, oh my God, really? I'm like, that's how I felt. I thought it was kind of cool that we both share that. We are both fans of yours for different reasons, but basically the same reason.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I think that's one of the reasons hosting a game show like Scrabble can really do good for the world, because not only are kids that are watching Raven's Home and, Tinkerbell, guys like you and your wife or partner can watch as well. And it's from different age brackets because Scrabble is also ageless. So I'm really glad you guys play, and I got my mom on bananagrams. But if you guys didn't know, you can download the Scrabble Go app, and that is super fun as well.
Oh, that's cool. So let me ask you, now that you've been immersed in the world of Scrabble, what insights can you give us to the Scrabble aficionado or someone who's just dabbling? What have you learned are the tricks, are the subtleties of exceeding at a Scrabble match?
I'm going to be honest. I think it's memory. I think
just memory.
Memorizing those 2-letter words, memorizing those 3-letter words, so that when you're down to the wire on a few tiles, you know how to place that U right in between. You know how to place the A. And I was actually... You guys, I swear I was actually playing Scrabble Go last night, and you can also play Scrabble on internet for free. Anyway, and there's some help areas. There's hints. And I'm like, wow, AUS is a word. That's not the real word. But remembering those awkward little words can really help in gaining massive points and a score.
So Scrabble, the more eclectic words, the seldom used words are going to get you out of a jam.
I think they will. I think they will. And not necessarily really for our game show, though. For our game show, it's about racking up points and landing on those bonus squares. So the more points you can earn, the better.
I wanted to mention your podcast with your wife. It's Tea Time with Raven and Miranda, and this is. Are you guys enjoying this?
Oh my goodness, we're enjoying it so much. We have so many amazing guests on, and I love it because my wife produces it and she tells me when to show up. I show up, I say my lines, and then I go. Normally, I'm the one like, all right, everybody, let's get it together. So it feels really good to be able to share this project with my wife and watch her soar.
Yeah, it's weird because, you come from different things. We've had people come in here, who are actors and do whatever, game show hosts or whatever. There's something different about that on a mic exchanged in conversation. It's a different animal. Not everyone takes to it.
Most definitely. I learned a lot when I was on The View. I learned how to give an interview. And I also learned by doing interviews myself and what I would want in an interview. And my wife is the talker. I'm just going to be 100, which is why this works. Like, she knows how to get in and out of things. She's like, I have an opinion. I'm like, cool. I'm going to sit back and just like kiki and be the funny person on the mic. And then when we have the cool thing about our podcast to me is the gimmick is, we stick our hand in a teapot and we pull out a random topic and we talk about that topic with our guest. So it can be anything from butterflies to the election to nose picking. And that's what we talk about. So I feel like it's also very tangible for anybody who's listening, even though we are actors and in the industry. Right. Not polarizing. Just so you're looking for the common water cooler kind of topic. Exactly. All right, got it.
Raven, we did have a question about potentially us doing you wrong for years and years and years and may have been pronouncing your last name incorrect all these years. Can you enlighten us, please?
Yes, you actually messed up one more time. So my first name is Raven-Symone.
Simone.
My last name is Pierman Mayday.
Because there's a hyphen between. So that is your first name. So Raven-Symone.
I have a hyphenated first name, and there's an accent aigrave over the E, so it's A. Raven-Symone. But my mom said she just put it there because it looks pretty.
At what point did you stop correcting people?
Yeah.
I was told at a very young age, do not tell people how to pronounce your real name because nobody in America is going to get it. And when I went to Canada and France, people started calling me that. I'm like, why are they doing that? And my parents were like, oh, because that's actually how your name is pronounced, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But it's so much easier when you go from show to show to show. And, forever, people didn't put the hyphen, and that's why everybody thinks it's Simone's my last name. But no, this is just my first name. I'm a one-name girl with a two-name one name.
Something like that.
Two-name first name.
Got it. Excellent. Well, listen, we're happy that you're having success with this. Obviously, you're well suited to host this show, being a fan, and also someone who has a pedigree of being able to run things and being an interviewer. So we think you're going to do great with this. We'll remind people it's on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. on the CW. So we will be watching, Raven.
Thank you. And you can get the CW app and watch it next day as well.
There you go.
Love it. Raven-Symone on the show. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you soon. She's awesome,
She
man.
is great.
She's adorable. Still, after all these years, you got to love that, man.
She's been working for Disney for a quarter of a century.
And Casey's right. We've known her since essentially her whole life.
When
How
she
old
was
was she when she
Olivia.
started? Like 5, maybe?
No, God, no. She had to have been like
16 months was her first acting gig.
No, but on the Cosby Show,
yeah.
I thought like maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Really, really young and just really adorable.
Were you guys familiar with a Disney movie called First Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century? That was her first appearance past 16 months. But that was 25 years under the Disney umbrella. It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
She started. She auditioned for the Cosby movie Ghost Dad when she was 3, and then she was considered too young for that role. But Cosby liked her so much that he found a role for her on the show. Excuse me. And she started that in 1989 when she was 4 years old.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
Man, look at her.
Crazy.
Hey, I wanted to. We need an update on something from yesterday, or actually it was the day before yesterday.
Yes.
It was, yeah.
Casey had done some home improvement, installed 2 ceiling fans in his home, and neither one of them would work?
No, neither one of them would turn on.
Okay.
I had gone through a series of of things, of sort of like, troubleshooting.
Every wire configuration you could possibly do.
I called electricians.
Yes.
I called Chuck first, who's not a licensed electrician, but he knows his way around electricity. Then I called my father-in-law, who had a career in
showbiz,
HVAC.
Yeah.
And then I called my friend Phil, who is an actual electrician, and they were like, "I don't know what to tell you, man." And I'm like, And then so we talked about it on Monday, and I got a text from my cousin Georgie. Now, Georgie told me to try something that I had already tried, which is, did you take the plastic off of the battery?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I really should have brought, because I do have one more fan to bring in, or to install, so I could have brought how the remote was packaged.
These remotes, are you talking about pulling out the plastic strip?
No, this is not a plastic strip that you pull out to activate the battery. This is I don't know how to describe, or I don't know what it's called, but just think of like a AAA battery that's like half the size. That's what this battery looks like. So it's cylindrical.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
All right. So the remote was packed in plastic. Then the battery was also packed in plastic. All right. So then I put the battery into the remote and nothing is working. Essentially what happened was that the battery was wrapped in plastic twice. And the second wrapping was shrink wrapped so much. And I was talking to Chuck on the phone on Saturday, and I'm telling him, I'm like, I'm hitting this button on the remote, and the remote's not even lighting up. And then I took the battery out of the remote to see if there was plastic on it, and I couldn't see any plastic on it. It was so tightly wrapped onto the battery that I couldn't tell, even when I was looking for it. So when I got home from work on Saturday, I was like, I'm going to take a razor to this thing. And I'm like, if I ruin the battery, then I ruin the battery.
Dude, you know where
it was plastic.
So do you know where that was an issue for the longest time? It was on Apple and Amazon, like the Alexas and stuff.
Really?
The charging cable to the wall plug. They would seal them so tightly in plastic that people didn't realize. And in fact, it might have been Apple that was having an issue with them heating up and setting on fire because they're encased in this plastic. So yes, that's a lot of times that is the fly in the ointment, as they say.
So Casey, I have a remote ceiling fan as well, and they are N batteries, N as in Nicholas. What I don't understand is, why are there so many different sizes for batteries? Like, I mean, how come there has to be a AAA and a AA? They seem to me to be similar enough in size that couldn't there just be one standard? And I'm sure that's an asinine question, and people are rolling their eyes when I ask it. But why are there so many different sizes of batteries?
Maybe there's a different energy output.
Like how? That's got to be negligible, doesn't it? Like, for that size of a battery?
For example, a lot of my holiday decorations, like my wreath and stuff that is lit and it's on a timer, those take the big wreath in the living room. It takes 6 D batteries, to run for the length of the season.
I can't think of anything I've used a D battery for in ages.
Honestly, unless you're playing Simon or something like that.
Or a boombox. I mean, those used to have
I just needed one.
A boombox?
No, a D battery. What the heck?
Was it for your Arkham Asylum Batmobile that I just put D batteries in as well?
Do you remember the large square or rectangular shaped battery?
Yes.
Sometimes flashlights would have that shape so you could fit them in there. What was that called? God, what size was that? It was fairly common.
It had the springs on top.
The springs
of the plastic.
Yeah.
I forget what that's called.
And I think it was, I want to say it was like a 6 volt. Like it was less than the tiny little 9 volt battery.
Oh my God.
If I remember correctly, I may be way off.
But you would have, Preston, the kind of flashlights that would take those are the ones with the handle on top.
The handle. Yeah, because the battery was so damn big.
I don't know about you guys, but I always make sure that I have plenty of AA and AAA batteries in the house.
Yeah, do you know how I know that? I have my battery caddy. Do you have one of those?
No, I need to get one of those.
They're friggin' awesome.
But my brother, I don't know if he still does it. My brother would keep all of his batteries, the fresh batteries, in the refrigerator.
They were supposed to keep them longer.
It doesn't.
And I think that's been debunked, or maybe they make things different than now, because sometimes I'll buy, Casey, the very battery, the N-size battery that you use, I use on a rangefinder for playing golf. And those, they now come with an expiration date on them, and they'll last like 10 years.
Yeah.
Without being used. It used to be if you bought batteries and let them sit around for a while, they'd lose their charge.
My battery caddy also has a battery charge tester in it as well.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So batteries are expensive. When you're recharging the batteries, are you getting the same life out of them, or do they diminish?
They start to diminish the more when you recharge. You can recharge some of them for quite a while, but eventually, as with all batteries, their ability to retain the charge wears out.
It does. Okay.
Yeah, somebody texted in and said that big battery was a 6-volt.
That was a 6-volt.
Which doesn't
is
make
that
any-
crazy?
you know, you
a
would
9-volt is about 1/10 the size of a 6-volt.
Yeah. The 9-volt. The 9-volt for the longest time, that was like the handheld electronic device.
Yes.
Battery.
Now it's most often AA.
But it was a 5-hour project. Okay, that didn't need to take 5 hours. That was then suspended for 2 days because my feeble mind couldn't figure out that there was plastic wrapped around the battery.
Yeah,
and
but like,
that is,
I'm going to give you this one though. It
You
could
are?
appear to the outside world that it was a stupid move.
Well, because I announced my retirement 2 days ago.
Are you back in?
Am I coming out of retirement?
I think so because I have experienced. Yes,
Really?
The batteries and things sealed that well that you didn't even know they were sealed, and that's something that they have to watch.
It reminded me of the story, and I've told you guys this before, but when, that was the problem, type of thing. We had an old Toyota Corolla at my house, and for some reason it wouldn't start. And I mean, like, you turn the key, nothing, no click, 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 nothing at all. And my dad looked at that thing for days and days, and your mom probably did something to it. It was the whole thing. Because he thought that she did something to it. And we're out there, and he just is perplexed. My dad knows his way around engines. He's pretty handy when it comes to that stuff. And we're sitting there, and I look down as he's sitting in the driver's seat, and I notice. So the gear shifter was in the middle. It was not a manual, it was an automatic, but it was what used to be down between to your right on the floorboard. And I look down, and it's in drive. And I reach over and I go, "Here, Dad, why don't I put it in park?" I put it in park, and he turns the key, fires right up. I kid you not. The first thing he says to me, he turns his head, he goes, "Do not tell your mother." Because he had given her a ration of crap that it was all her fault, and he was the one who left it in drive. He had just turned it off without putting it in park.
Oh my God,
that was the problem.
Yeah, those things that are just that reveal themselves to you, and you feel so effing stupid.
Well,
we had. When the famous story I've told on air where my Dwayne from Vertex Fitness asked me to help him move an entire gym worth of equipment, and he rented a Penske truck, and this was just at the point at which there was really no park. Like my car doesn't really have a park. It has you put a neutral, you press a button, you can put it in park as long as in any of the gears. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we drive there, and the thing's filled up with all this equipment. I'm like, we can't turn the goddamn truck on. We can't. And we're like trying to figure out what the hell the story was. And it was like, it can't be that you neutral. And yes, that's how it starts up. I mean, we were literally looking for the number to call Penske for roadside service.
Well, whenever you call somewhere for like troubleshooting, they ask you, did you turn it off? Did you unplug it? Like all of those simple, stupid questions. So you have to make sure that you have to do all the simple stuff first before you make that phone call.
And even if you don't, you just tell them you did.
I want a simple explanation as to how to, like sometimes when you go to start your car and your wheel is locked.
Oh, right.
You know what? Now that everything's push button start, you don't really run into that issue where you can't turn the key.
Used to be the case,
because the wheel was locked or whatever.
That ship has sailed. You don't have to worry about that anymore.
By the way, going back to the batteries for a second, I don't know if this is true or not, but somebody texted in and said kids' toys take D batteries. AA, AAA, 4AC, and D batteries are all 1.5 volts, but different capacities. The larger they are, the longer they last.
All right.
And then he also said the big 6-volt batteries are actually 4D batteries in a case. You can cut them open.
I remember knowing that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the ones that you're describing, Preston. Yeah, they're inside. You can cut them open because if you were ever out of boombox batteries and you had one of those bad boys,
Shut up.
you could cut it open. I just remember that right
Never
now.
knew that.
We have to do that. I want to see that happen.
Yeah.
Well, and also I feel like we are using batteries much less because a lot of times it'll come
rechargeable?
Come with a charger.
Right.
You use,
I'll tell you to that point, Kathy, what's been a godsend is they finally a lot of the electronics that you use are now USB-C, that standard plug that's like that because how many cords are in your
all
house.
over.
I'll tell you something I discovered the other day, Preston. I didn't realize this on my car. I pull up in front of my house. I'm about to get out of the car. And I'm like, I go to open the door. I'm like, God, I can't open the goddamn door. What's that? kind of like, what the hell? And I realized my car has a proximity thing. If another car is coming down the street, it won't allow me to open the car door into traffic.
Huh.
Yeah, so
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, but I'm like, I'm trapped.
Yeah.
I can't get out.
Completely lost.
Damn it! I was going to ask a question, and
okay,
is it about that guy in New Jersey?
Yeah, what's that?
Is it about that guy in New Jersey?
No,
What guy in New Jersey?
The statue.
Oh, the statue.
Oh, Cozy Morley.
Cozy Morley.
I'll never forget that guy's name until the next time I have to remember it. I got a text from my friend John. He's like, "Dude, I told you about Cozy Morley on the beach." I'm like, "I know. I couldn't remember his name."
Text him back. Who is this?
We have to do some kind of a game. Do you remember on the Preston and Steve show?
Yes.
Oh well, the idea of having the lesson learned be the listeners
Reverse.
ask us, yeah,
Where they ask what happened earlier on the show.
Beyond insipid.
I know, but like I said, it would have to be posed to one of us.
Yeah,
because collectively we could probably figure something out.
What I was going to say was when I went to go do the remote in my son's fan, the light turned on, but the fan wouldn't turn on. I'm like, you got to be effing kidding me! Like this is just too much. And then I went into the back of the manual and I went to troubleshooting. It says fan won't turn on. Okay, you know the little switch on the side of the fan that either is suck or blow?
Yeah.
It was stuck in the middle, and that's why it wouldn't turn on.
God.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm glad I did that, and I didn't
The middle shouldn't exist. It should either be
it should
suck or
click
blow.
fully. Yes.
one way or the other.
What the hell?
Or when you realize that a fan has two, like with a ceiling fan, where it will push the air down or it will draw the air up.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. Suck or blow.
Right.
Yeah.
So
there shouldn't be a middle.
There shouldn't be a middle.
There should either be suck or blow.
Yeah.
And also, like, did you know
The middle
that,
would just be off, right?
Yeah. Like you're supposed to suck in one season and blow in another season.
Yes.
I think you blow in the summer.
I keep a blow. It's always blow.
Always blow.
I don't need the suck. I need the blow.
Right, Kath?
Yeah.
Yeah? What about you, Kath? Do you need the suck or the blow?
No.
Do you have a ceiling fan in your room, don't you, Preston?
Yes.
And do you always have it on throughout the year?
I do.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, always.
I just gotta have moving air.
I'm the same way. It needs to happen.
I have a question. What if you're being intimate with your spouse? I don't like the blowing
We don't
air.
do it on the fan.
No, that's probably
You ever
dangerous.
go flying off?
You don't like having moving
air
air
on your balls from behind?
Yeah, not a big fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about it.
Okay.
And I'm thinking it's because we don't usually have it on.
Yeah.
But
you want that body heat thing.
What about outside and moving air outside?
I don't even know.
If you have sex outside, are you nervous if animals are watching?
No, I wouldn't be nervous. I'm worried about an animal joining in, maybe, or something like that.
It depends on the animal.
It depends. Right. Yes. Who's going to be a more tender lover? I don't really know.
Huh.
Going back to batteries. Hang on.
my way in here.
Ed has a comment on the batteries. Hi, Ed. Good morning.
Hey, guys. Good morning. So it's been debunked that putting your batteries like in a cold space will actually destroy the life. It'll actually lessen their usefulness. And actually it was even made a point of, and I was thinking this while I was on hold, was the Da Vinci Code. If you remember at the end, when they finally find the bomb, she talks about the battery. Oh, there's going to be a residual charge, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, wait, it's cold down here. They even mention that cold destroys battery life.
Well, it definitely wreaks havoc, like on ion lithium batteries. That's why a lot of the
clearly,
Go ahead.
Look at your car batteries in the winter. How many car batteries die in the winter because they're outside in the cold?
Yep.
And then they die. But also, Steve, going back to your point about the commercial trucks, that's actually a usual thing because I'm a retired firefighter, and one of the things is on fire trucks there is no park. There's only neutral, and then you apply the air brakes, and that basically is what holds the truck in place. There is no park on commercial trucks.
It was so confusing, and Preston, and I got to tell you the story because, and we've mentioned it before, we were, there was a potential advertiser, and we were at a BMW dealership, Preston, and you remember we're both sitting in a car. Yeah. We could not figure out how to turn that car off.
Yeah.
Actually, and I just had a rental. My car's in the shop and had a rental at a Nissan Rogue. And this thing did not have like a standard gear shifter. When you got to your driveway or whatever, you actually had to push a button to put it in the park. I can't tell you how many times I would take there was a shifter to go up and down, like forward would be reverse, and then you pull it back to put it in gear. I can't tell you how many times I got in my driveway and went to put it in park like I'm used to, and I would put the damn thing in reverse and start backing up. And I'm like, oh, no, wait, no, I got to hit. And I hit the button real quick.
Oh, it's so annoying. I mean, we
put the thing in park so I wouldn't drift out into the street.
We had Preston, you had I think it was what was it, a Lambo, and I had a Maserati. There was this high-end car service, an advertiser briefly, and the park on the Maserati looked like a dental hammer. And I'm like, what is that?
Dental hammer? Yeah,
like a weird bent rubber. And I'm like, what is that? And then I finally figured out that was park.
Okay.
I don't think, Steve, until you did that I knew, maybe I was just naive or whatever, but I didn't know Maseratis were that high end.
Yeah.
And
because there's a more afford like with the Jaguar.
Right.
Yeah.
So recently, within the last week or two, my son has really gotten into high end cars. His favorite car right now is a Maserati. And I was like, oh, and we were just like watching YouTube videos of it or whatever, and it's man, like, first of all, they can be enormously expensive.
Yes.
But they're pretty badass. I was impressed by them.
Yeah, they are. But they do have a more affordable, I guess, a more commercial division.
Okay.
And maybe they're working in concert with, like, Ford or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we weren't looking at those ones. We were looking at the expensive ones.
I want to switch gears with this phone call because our friend Sap Sapio is at the portal right now. And Sap is going to do something for us. Hey, Sap, you there, man?
I'm here, guys. How are you?
Good. All right. So we were saying earlier this morning, someone should hold up.
There's fire trucks going by right now.
You probably can't hear anything.
I'm holding up my sign.
All right. So he's got the phone number for our request line, and we're going to see if we can get a call from either. Where would you know where it's showing currently?
I believe this is Lithuania.
In Lithuania. All right.
All right.
We'll see if they can.
Hopefully, they speak English.
One way or another. Call. Yeah.
They're just kind of walking by, not really engaging much.
Nobody's paying close attention or waving.
We got somebody.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can get them to call this line right now.
Yeah. Call in.
Does the sign say anything about an active radio show in Philadelphia?
I did. Yeah. It says call into live Philadelphia radio show.
Okay.
And then I put the Preston and Steve show on WMMR, and I put the phone number.
Oh, you're the man.
Can you get
the right country code? It's 001, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
And you can get close enough to the portal for them to actually see the phone number?
I am. There's like nobody here. It's pretty empty. So I am right here, right in front of it. I just don't know if my sign's big enough.
Oh, okay. Whether they can read it or not. So yeah, would you call 001-800 and then the number? I wonder if that works or not.
Forget.
Oh, I did 215. The 215, the one that Nick gave me.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, I keep thinking of Y100's freaking 800 line. I can't.
Yes, it does work. I did an interview with a woman in Paris not that long ago, and
who had moved to Lithuania.
She was able to call in.
Okay, all right, perfect.
We're watching the phones.
One of our lines.
They're just looking at people are just looking at me, kind of like,
they're not.
I don't know what to do here.
Yeah, you would actively see someone. You got a guy?
Let's come on, call in.
And it's like when they do a telethon, you're waiting for people to call in.
Sap,
maybe they don't know English.
It's very possible.
It's very, very possible. Sap, is it pretty cool? The portal? Do you think it's in person?
It's very cool.
Yeah,
it looks like that Star Trek episode where they walk through the. Oh wait, we just changed. All right, it just changed to another city. Where is that?
Oh. Well, there's one in Poland and one in
might be Poland,
in Ireland.
By the way,
so
fun
it
fact.
switches. Oh, I did not know that.
It switches between those three cities.
Okay. I knew it was going to serve three cities, but I didn't know in how they do it. So they must switch it.
We got a little girl waving, jumping up and down. She's giving us the heart sign.
Aww. That's cute.
But she doesn't have a phone.
What was the fun fact, Steve?
City on the Edge of Forever is that Star Trek episode.
So in Lithuania, they speak the Baltic language of Lithuanian. A language that's closely related to Latvian. I just knew that.
All
right. So maybe that's why Lithuania wasn't calling?
Maybe. And in Poland, maybe we'll get somebody.
The song, Lithuania calling and Lithuania calling.
All right, Sap, keep holding that up.
Yep.
We're not gonna be able to do the full live correspondence here the whole time.
Understood.
Yeah,
no problem.
Maybe we need to get like a. But you're the man for putting together the sign like that. Maybe we need something. You're saying we need to maybe scale it up a little bit.
I think we need a full production with like a big television monitor or poster board or something. Yeah.
Right. All right. Let's see if we can get somebody from another country to call in vis-a-vis the portal. That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe we could get Jackie Bam Bam down there tomorrow, have him wear a little mummery.
They'll think that the portal's connected to another planet.
Yeah. Interdimensional portal from Philadelphia.
We have it's Europa.
Yeah. All right, Sap. Thank you, man.
You got it, guys.
We'll stay here and we'll see if we can field a call from somewhere else. Sap Sapio.
Yeah. Does he have a gig coming up or something?
I do not know. I thought
we should have asked him.
Talked about it yesterday or something like that. We're looking at, is this live footage right now of the
him?
portal?
Is that Sap Sapio holding up the sign?
Oh, yeah.
It is.
I think it is.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I wonder if we could use like the WhatsApp because sometimes for international calls, like if there's a way that we could, if we do it for tomorrow, if we could do it via WhatsApp, it's just easier to make international calls or communicate with somebody in another country that way.
But what do you just put the regular phone number in WhatsApp?
I don't know.
Oh.
Are you guys loving this concept? I think this is a wonderful thing.
I really want to see it. It looks cool, and I think that's great that Philly has one.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll see if we can get that to happen. We'll see if it
Should we?
Someone figure it out and do it for us.
Right.
When Hitchcock came to town, we did our own version. Should we do our own portal that's just simply a circle that you look to the other side of the...
Yeah, sure. I love it.
Hey!
I see.
Where are
Can you hear me?
Philadelphia! We are as well!
No, hang on, man. We can do a Preston and Steve portal. We can. We
just an iPhone on FaceTime?
That's it. I would say an iPad. Like you get a giant pad and just place it somewhere.
Geez, we do it the size of the portal, but the screen is just the Think about it. Let's riff on that.
Yeah. All right. We can riff on that. All right. I want to take a break, but as we are doing that very thing, remind you that we have a secret text word. Today we're giving away tickets to see Daughtry on the Adrenaline Gone Ballistic Holiday Tour, Saturday, November 30th at the Franklin Music Hall.
My daughter?
Tickets are on sale now via AXS.com, but if you text word secret to 39333, you'll be in the running for it. We'll take a break. Coming back with the Bizarre Files. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
Then there's three other things.
Two other things.
So, all right. So there have been some in the magic world. There have been some constants, obviously, but there has been new variables over the years in technology and stuff. And over the last year, with being able to do things via Zoom and virtually, has that presented itself any new opportunities for you?
Yeah. So in the Zoom world, which is here we are. I did a lot of like keynotes. Believe it or not, the virtual keynote speaking market was out of this world, right? And so I'd be able to do tricks through Zoom, which is kind of cool. I created a few things. Now it's a completely different medium. It's a completely different way of doing things. Right now you're isolated in this little frame here. So, it was a fun, challenging time.
Do you get called? I mean, obviously, I know when I was doing stand-up comedy, I used to do corporate gigs fairly often. Is that still out there? Substantially with so many people working from home and all that change because of what we just went through. Is that still a rich area for you as a magician to work in?
The Zoom market?
The corporate, corporate events and things of that nature. Yeah. Is that a big moneymaker for you without getting? Yeah, but I don't need a dollar amount.
Yeah, baby, throw me the money. But not so much as a magician. Like I said, I get hired out as a speaker and I get to do whatever magic I want within that.
I got
One of the best advice I ever got was my rookie year, and this guy Kevin Elko, he's a speaker, and I was in the weight room. He's like, "Hey, I'll give you a couple $100 to go talk to these bankers." I was like, "I'm in." He goes, "You know that stupid little pencil trick you do?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "They'll eat it up. Tell your story how you went to college." So I was like, "Okay." And then afterwards, he literally pulled me aside and he goes, "Listen, kid." I was 23. He goes, "Listen, kid, I'm going to give you some advice. Look, the magic's cute. I get it. You need to be a speaker, and you'll thank me for it." And so I've been a speaker ever since. And obviously, the cap that companies are willing to spend on a magician is quite a bit smaller than a speaker.
Right.
And so
true.
Hey, you can call me whatever you want.
Just a reminder, John's going to be at Borgata Music Box on Friday. 2 shows, by the way. John, so what role does football play in your life now? Just a observer or anything else?
I have some friends call me here and there, and they'll have because a lot of the guys I played with now are coaching either high school, college, or whatever, and they'll have a snapper or a specialist. And they'll say, "Hey, man, can you work with this kid? Can you give me some advice?" And we can do it over Zoom. We can do it live. And so I'm just kind of like the guy that just kind of goes in, helps out. Believe it or not, there's been some coaches that have left the Eagles and gone on to other teams, and they're like, hey, we'd love to bring you in here and just kind of help build the culture of an organization, which for me, I think that was a bigger compliment than help me with X's and O's. I think that was kind of a role I had with the Eagles for a long, long time, and that was, establish a culture, get a sense of community and family within a locker room, care about one another, and then you don't have to be the greatest of athletes to win.
I have a very objective question to ask you, John. Which fans are crazier, Bills fans or Eagles fans? Because Bills fans over the last few years have really upped their game in the level of craziness that they bring. The Bills Mafia, as I think now, kind of rivals the insanity that Eagles fans bring every week.
I'll say this. I mean, anybody that's out there in minus 20-degree weather with no shirt on, run around in the parking lot, I mean, it's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different level of crazy. For those that have never been to Buffalo, wow. It was like the greatest thing that ever happened to me to get picked up by the Bills. And then it was like the greatest thing that ever happened to me to get released by the Bills. Because that place was hard. I mean, it was like, now look, you're talking about a kid who came from Southern California. So like I had seen snow, but I had never seen snow.
Yeah, that is snow.
And, and now keep in mind, I kind of hacked my way into college, right? I sent somebody else's film. So when I got into the NFL, I was still trying to figure out how to snap. And so to go to Buffalo and try and play in that weather and be a specialist. Look, I played with Drew Bledsoe. That guy had one of the strongest arms I've ever seen. I remember there was games that he couldn't even throw a 10-yard out because the wind was so bad.
Yeah.
And then the coach was ticked off at me that I couldn't snap. Drew can't throw it 10 yards. You want me to look between my legs?
Yeah.
Right.
John, I went to the Eagles-Bills game, oh, God, it had to have been 2 years ago, and the wind was crazy. We couldn't even kick extra points at this point. The wind was so bad. They kept going for two-point conversions.
God, that's savage.
But I will say, I thought the fans were great. I didn't get there early enough to really hang out in the tailgate area or whatever. But I bought tickets that were close enough in the end zone, so I just wanted to get on either A, get on TV, which I did, or B, catch a football either via kickoff or whatever. And a football landed 2 seats away from me. So I know I was so close, but I had a great time and. They had great hot dogs in the stadium.
There you go.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, think about this. Philadelphia has restaurants Zama loves sushi. Come on, Redstone. Hello, still here, guys.
Kathy.
Forever.
Oh yes.
I mean, and Buffalo has.
Wings.
Hey, let me ask you. Do you have Wetzel's Pretzels there by any chance?
Oh, I don't know.
Casey's a big fan.
Good wings.
Yeah.
But Buffalo was great, man. But like I said, what a hard place to play, man. Hard place.
Wow. Nice. Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore. How about that, man?
Yeah, you got your own backstage and all that, everything. What is your writer like? Is there anything super unique in a John Dorenbos writer when you show up at the Borgata?
Michelob. So this is funny.
Yeah.
So I was never. I didn't really drink alcohol a whole lot, and I never drank beer. I didn't like beer, right? I didn't like beer. So my wife's like, "Oh, this is cool. So when you stop working out and stop playing football, now you're going to drink beer."
Right.
Okay. Good timing. So I got nothing crazy. I just got my Michelob Gold Ultras carb conscious beer.
Carb conscious beer.
Crazy.
That's it.
And do you have? All right. So do you have an exclusive partnership with a playing card? Do you know what I mean?
So I use bicycles now. This is crazy. The president of United States Playing Card Company, huge fan, very nice guy. But this company, zero advertising, zero endorsements for anybody. They just don't need it. They don't do it.
The best.
And
They're like the Louisville Sluggers.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good point.
Is that the choice for most magicians? Bicycle?
For me, yeah. Apparently, I like the air cushion finish. Apparently, just gets it done for me.
Air cushion finish.
Air cushion finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I keep these guys everywhere. But bicycle is the most consistent. And now you're gonna get me going. But to be able just to kind of do things like that looked really good on Zoom right there. But they just feel good. They just look good, right? And so they fan nice. Like, come on, are you kidding me? Watch this. Hey, for those at home, I'm just
that's impressive.
That's an impressive fan. Hey, John, can you do the one where you're just holding the deck in your hand flat and you just flip that top card up in the air and over? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, and he's coughing them up. I'm blown away by that stuff. It's just.
This comes out of the center. Oh,
man.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Man, and he catches it. Here's something here. Little zoom something for you. It's going to be hard. Preston, you're the guy in the camera here, so I'm just going to use you. Just say stop.
And stop right there. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna out jog that.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of hard here on Zoom, but here we go. Can you see that or no?
Yep, I got it.
What do you see?
I see the 10 of diamonds.
Ooh. Perfect. Do you have a cell phone, a wallet, pad of paper?
I got a cell phone.
He's got a cell phone and whatever you need.
I have a pad of paper and a wallet.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Do you have all three?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, get them. Okay.
We're a major market show.
Yeah. Okay, so put your wallet on your hand first.
Okay. Dear God.
Okay. Here it comes.
Yeah.
And then your phone on top of that.
Okay.
Pad of paper on top of that.
Yeah.
And then your hand on top of that.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be sick. One more time. What do you see?
10 of diamonds.
10 of diamonds.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hopefully this will work. I don't know, but watch. If we take the 10 through Zoom.
It's gone.
Okay. Wow.
We can get it to vanish.
Okay.
Preston, lift your hand up.
Dude, no. Okay.
Lift the paper up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nothing under the paper. Yep.
Yeah. Put it down. Lift the phone up.
Okay.
Yeah. And now put that down.
Okay.
And now just lift your wallet straight up.
Okay.
Is there something on your hand? You would have flipped out if it was. Hold on.
Okay.
You know what? It might have not gone through. Can you pick your wallet up again?
Yeah.
Can you open it?
Yes.
Is there something inside? Go ahead and look through there. Is there something in the?
Are you serious? Shut up.
No
way. Stop it.
There's a 10 of diamonds in Preston's wallet.
That's as good as I can get through Zoom. Right there.
Which one of you a-holes took my wallet and put this in here? That's insane.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
The 10 of diamonds.
You're the devil.
Yeah, and go Borgata Friday night. I will be there.
Yes, and honestly, that room is
happened.
That room is perfect for magic. By the way, it's going to be awesome.
Why couldn't you do that with like $100 bill?
I thought it was gonna if I had a $10 bill or something like in that he would.
That's awesome.
Screw you, man. I mean that lovingly. That's insane, dude. You're crazy. All right, John, we love you, pal. It's good to talk to you, and have a great time in AC.
Yeah, and if you guys want to give away tickets, give them away. Let me know.
All right, that'd be awesome.
All
Yeah.
right, thank you so much, John freaking Dornbos.
Now you're trying to figure out what the hell happened. I had nothing to do with that.
That's freaking me out, man.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was just going to make it. I thought he was just going to say that it was a joke, which it was, and and it was funny.
And then it's in your wallet.
This was in my wallet. I didn't do that.
Sure you didn't.
One of you guys did it.
No.
One of you guys did it.
No.
One of you guys did it.
No.
I'll find out later.
That's magic, man. Wow. Don't if you upgrade to the premium package on Zoom, it comes with magic.
Is that what it comes with? If you look back to when test tube babies was a very controversial idea, and there was all kinds of uproar against that type of thing, and now fertility stuff is commonplace. I mean, it's exactly
you
what
can
you
get
do.
powdered mix.
To make babies.
Okay, can they extract semen out of a fully vasectomized nutsack? Can they do that?
Did you just whisper nutsack?
The question in front of the panel today is: can semen be fully extracted from a nutsack?
Excuse me, sir. We couldn't hear you.
What?
Sir? I said nutsack. Could you speak up, please?
Can semen be extracted from a fully...
but can it, though? Or
I don't know.
Okay.
All right, so I have my prostate is out and my seminal vesicles, I guess they're referred to, are
They ain't
removed.
there.
Right.
Mine are still there, right? So I've been vasectomized.
I believe you can still produce a little
I can.
If you get the attachment.
So here's the deal. Like, they say that you can reverse a vasectomy.
Yes,
It's not
you can.
100%. It's not 100%, but they do, all they do is just, reattach or whatever.
Except it comes out your butt.
So what that tells me.
If you reverse it fully.
I guess my wife would be way less inclined to make a baby that way.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Science.
All right.
But.
All right, back up to my vagina.
God.
Oh, boy.
The
Case, it looks like
Sorry, I snorted.
it says you can withdraw sperm from the testicle, but I don't know if that's after the vasectomy.
It has to be, because if it can be reversed, it means I'm still making
So
it.
you're still making it, but your body absorbs it.
Right, because you've closed the pathway.
Right.
You've closed the egress, as they say.
Right.
Right?
So if you had to bet on the male members of the Preston and Steve show conceiving a baby at this point, where would you put your money? Because Preston and Casey and I have all been had vasectomies.
I'd put my money on Steve.
Steve had prostate cancer and had his prostate removed. So, but
I don't understand your question.
If one of us were forced to have a baby, if we had to keep we had to keep like the population of the earth going.
I would do it.
I would love to have another baby.
Who would have the best chance?
Even though I was wondering, could you help? I mean, that's that.
Scientists come to us.
Even though we've had a vasectomy.
Right, yeah. Where's the money on the male members of the Preston and Steve show producing another human being?
Without having a reversal done?
Yeah.
It has
None
happened.
of us, I guess.
But that's what I'm asking about, like with Casey's question. Like, if we took the sperm out of the nutsack,
He's saying who's
the best chance?
Yeah.
Oh, who would be?
It wouldn't be Steve, right?
You guys are the same
Steve
age. I have
doesn't
nothing.
have
His
anymore.
is different
I've got
than what
confetti in mine.
MMR.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, it's brought to you by Family and Company Jewelers. Viraggio Bridal Show, October 24th to 26th. Save hundreds, maybe even thousands on the ring of her dreams. Family and Company Jewelers in South Jersey's diamond destination. So, 19-year-old London woman, Karina Zadvovka, fulfilled her dream of being a doctor by posing as one at Ealing Hospital despite never attending medical school. She walked into the hospital wearing a white robe and gloves, confidently blending in with the medical staff. Over the course of the day, she introduced herself as Dr. Christina. And she was seen handling medical equipment, getting into an ambulance, and even gave liquid substances to a patient, all without raising suspicion.
This stuff is easy.
Zadvovka, or whatever her name is, her stunt only lasted a day before she was arrested on her second visit to the hospital, this time carrying a stethoscope.
During a head transplant.
In court, she was sentenced to 12 months probation. Additionally, she was banned from entering any National Health Service facility.
Why?
Unless in an emergency. Oh, unless she was having an emergency.
Oh, okay.
I thought maybe they needed to call her in to help out. Her lawyer argued that she wasn't
We
trying
have the best non-doctor in town who's going to consult us.
to cause harm, but was simply trying to live out her dream of being a doctor.
It's kind of sweet.
Yeah, though.
Yeah.
Only you can't do that. How about this? A man who claims he was detained in the Wayne County Jail for 6 days beyond his court-ordered release date because staff couldn't find him in their new facility is suing the sheriff and other officials. Liam West Campo filed for the lawsuit in Detroit against Sheriff Raphael Washington, Chief of Jails Robert Dunlap, several unnamed jail staffers, and the county itself. The facility, which opened on September 3rd, has been criticized by union officials and defense attorneys as being riddled with problems, including staffing shortages, prolonged lockdowns, and mechanical failures. Campo was arrested October 5th on a parole violation. He was taken to the new Criminal Justice Center the next day. Then on October 8th, the court ordered his release and an electronic monitoring system to be put on him called the Tether. Instead, he was held in jail without access to a phone for several days. He was processed again and placed in an 8-person tether pod. His mother tried to call and locate her son while he was in jail, but staff couldn't locate or identify her son.
I'm in the tether pod.
Because the computer and record system in the jail were offline, and there were no records of his whereabouts inside the jail. His name and date of birth that had been written in marker on his wristband had rubbed off as well.
Isn't part of jail knowing where the people are all the time?
So Campo's mother paid a private tethering company to go to the jail and install the device on her son's ankle so that he could be released quickly. When the company contacted the jail, lawsuit said officials told them the private companies couldn't install tethers in the jail and said that even if the company could, jail staff couldn't find Campo, and there was no record of his location.
I think some things need to be improved here.
He was eventually released on October 14th. The lawsuit seeks to be deemed a class action by the court to represent hundreds of other inmates who the lawsuit says have been unconstitutionally detained for longer than they should have been in the new and old jail. Wow. You've no doubt seen Crime Stopper stories on your local news where the police offer rewards for tips that result in crimes being solved and suspects being apprehended. Well, a police officer in Memphis has seen them too, and he pleaded guilty to stealing $18,000 worth of the reward cash. Court records say that since 2018, Erica Hutchins was one of 2 officers assigned going through Crime Stopper tips and passing pertinent information to investigators. Between August 2023 and February 2024, Hutchins was found to be using her position in law enforcement to enter fraudulent data into the Crime Stoppers database. Then a person named KB would receive the reward for the tips. FBI agents discovered that KB was the person that Hutchins was conspiring with. Shortly thereafter, Hutchins was placed on leave and then ultimately resigned in April and later sentenced to 6 months in prison and 2 years supervised release after that.
You had a story like this a while ago, and I wonder if a story like this makes it into the press if someone goes, I wonder if I could do that here.
Right.
You know?
Right? Yeah, maybe. A Malaysian woman, Nurul Sazwani, recently revealed that after 6 years of caring for her bedridden husband following a car accident, he divorced her and married another woman upon his recovery.
An ungrateful bastard.
Nurul had documented her life as a caretaker on social media, showing how she fed him through a tube, bathed him, and tended to his needs. She gained thousands of followers on Facebook, many of whom were shocked when she posted about the divorce and his remarriage. Many expressed their shock that the husband could repay her kindness by leaving her right after his recovery. Yes?
So he was, how did this relationship foster?
That's a good question. Despite the public backlash, Nurul later clarified that she felt her ex-husband had, quote, fulfilled his responsibilities, emphasizing that they had agreed to work together to raise their daughter. In an effort to shield her ex-husband and his new wife from criticism, she even deleted her original Facebook post and apologized for the attention that it had caused. She explained that her intention wasn't to expose or shame anyone. She said, I want to apologize to my ex-husband for apologize to my ex-husband, his new wife, and Chris Agon and the Skull Sealer and all of them and their families regarding the viral post on Facebook.
That's insane.
So
she said he'd become a drag.
So she sounds like a saint.
Yeah.
I mean, like she's forgiven the guy even after that.
No, hit him once.
Wow. Yeah, at least one time.
Punch him in the face.
Yeah, she did. And then she was like, nah, I didn't mean to hit you like that.
Yep. All right. And there you go. That's all I have in the bizarre file for you at this point in time. All right. Secret text word callers, get ready because Romano's going to give you a number caller to be.
Caller 9.
All right. Ooh. Caller number 9 at 215-263 WMMR. You need to know the secret text word in order to win. We'll find out if you do when we return. Coming back, lesson question, trash and music news on the way.
Preston and Steve.
Produce it. Your body's just absorbing it.
Okay. I don't know. That's why
So
I
you're
know.
full
Had
of
3
sperm,
kids.
Nick.
You've had 3 kids.
Yeah.
So I'd put our money
I got
on
like
us
6 or
over
7
you.
that I don't know about.
Yeah. Wow.
Has Bill hung himself yet, by the way, with this conversation?
I don't know. Did you think about what you were talking about in the bathroom?
I did.
Okay. Casey and I had a conversation in the bathroom.
Did you?
He's like, I think I want to ask you something, but I don't know if I want to ask you on the air or not.
Was it about the Dunkachino machine?
No, I think we're good on that.
We just shot a video, Marissa and I. I sort of had to explain why it literally looks like I threw a grenade into the machine.
I saw it. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
I ran into Andy in the kitchen, and she was like, I just saw the email that said it was all good to go. She goes, but what happened?
Anyway.
Is it all cleaned up, by the way? It's
I didn't do it. I tried. There were no paper towels. There was no
Casey keeps stash paper towels if you ever need them.
Yes,
and they have them in the bathroom, too. So
yeah.
We'll grab those. Hold on. Marissa has an update, I guess.
I don't know if it's cleaned up, but it is fixed.
Okay.
All right, excellent.
Matt Cowper swung by and
All right,
fixed it.
Oh, that was a
Just call me Mr. Fix It.
I just thought you were just accentuating fixed, but that was a Matt
No
Kaplan.
reason to stress out.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay, so this is a judgment call for everybody here. All right? So you're.
If we don't want to talk about this, we'll move on to something
We can
else.
move on.
If we decide
Move
this
on.
is not worth talking about.
Is it about food, pretzel-like food in Oregon?
It's not food.
He was wrestling with the idea of bringing it up or not. So
All right, go ahead.
So judgment call. So your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend is asleep. They're napping, right? And you have a hankering to go to Rita's Water Ice,
right?
And okay,
I know. Okay.
I know where you're going with this too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quick question: did this happen to you, and did it cause a problem?
This happened to me, and I got the double middle finger.
Okay.
Last night, so and said spouse woke up.
I had a similar thing happen recently, so I can commiserate. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you wake your spouse up to see if they would like something from
As they
Rita's Water Ice?
As they are resting, as they are getting their much deserved sleep, correct?
Yes. And you know this person.
I can
and
answer immediately when you're done.
You have woken said person up from a peaceful nap before, and it was never a good experience. So, so do you leave them asleep? Okay. So you have a couple options here. You leave them asleep, right? And you don't get them anything from Rita's because for some reason
do you touch their boobies?
Always. For some reason, if you go to any other store, you know exactly what to get them, right? You know how they like their stuff. But for some reason, you don't know what their go-to order at Rita's is.
Wait, you didn't get her anything?
Hold on. May I ask you? May I ask you a question?
Yes.
While this debate was going on, did something in the back of your mind go, "She'll never know"?
There might have been.
That's exactly what it was. You thought that if you ate it quickly enough, the remnants of it would be gone, and she would be none the wiser.
No
But
fuss,
you
no
do
muss.
know her. You could take it. I'm sure you would have gotten something that she liked.
There was a good chance
Don't come home with nothing.
There was a good chance that said nap could have turned into a full night's sleep.
Or
you could put it in the freezer.
Diane doesn't like it when Casey spends money on frivolous things, and she would have gotten mad that he spent money on.
No,
my wife.
no.
Well, here's my situation. My wife will take 5-6 hour naps.
Yeah.
So I mean, she is, and I commend her for this.
Yes.
It happened over the weekend. It's the ice cream bakery on Ridge, and they have great soft ice cream. And so I'm getting a damn cone as I pass by. There was not the traditional 80-car line going in, and I'm like, I'm going for it. But I call an audible.
Yeah.
And I bought her something, and it was a home run. I kind of knew what she wanted.
Yeah.
But I mean, you do the gesture.
Yeah.
And that buys you. I gave it a shot.
Yeah, my wife just sent me a text. She goes, "You don't have to wake me up. Just buy me my favorite flavor." Now, I'm going to admit, I don't know what your favorite flavor is.
Right.
Name a store, and I can tell you what she gets from that store.
I believe that.
For some reason, Rita's, I'm like, I don't know what your favorite flavor is there.
Rita's is a sweet spot thing too. I mean, like that's a very specific. You're omitting somebody from you going there, right? So, and in my household, if I were to do that, that would be the end of the relationship. So I would, Casey, not wake her though. Right. I would take an educated guess and try and bring something home.
Yes, of course.
I did not do that, and I made a mistake.
Wow.
The educated guess with the purchase will buy you the insurance
At least
you
you
need.
tried.
Yeah, you tried, yeah.
You didn't even try. Sorry, Marissa.
No, I'm going to throw out this option. Just buy multiple very small ones, even if it's just 2. Say I tried to take a guess, and then if one of those happens to be your favorite flavor, Casey, then you win in the end because you get to enjoy it as well.
And also, the gesture.
My story is much more selfish. The Big Top Surfing Sundays came by our house.
Oh yeah.
And Rochelle was taking a nap, and I'm like, I'll just zip out and get a thing, and she'll be asleep, and
she'll never know.
She'll never know. And by the way, ice cream, I don't think keeps as well.
Right, I
in a
was just gonna
freezer
say,
as water ice might. So then maybe
Water
that's
ice
a little
definitely does
caveat.
not keep as well in the freezer. Not my
Well,
freezer.
you're right. If it stays in there too long, I don't like that frozen solid. Yeah, I'm
becomes
not down
like
with
an
that.
ice cube.
Yes.
But in my mind, I was like, she'll never know. She'll never know. And then she knew. And then
And what happened?
She gave me the hard time. She's like, you went without me?
My freaking daughter dined me out, man. I was like,
oh, dude.
Yeah.
I do feel like
the bond of trust has been broken.
Right? And I paid
I'm watching you.
Yeah.
because you know why? Because she probably understood. No, she understood because, and I hate to be like that person, but like a lot of guys are the same when it comes to things like this. Like it's just common sense. Like, why would you have not picked your wife up something? Even if it went in the freezer, even if it became a block of ice, she would have been like, oh, okay, well, he helped me out. It's not great, and I'll go get my own tomorrow or something like that. But like,
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And my house is filled with people. And, I probably should ask my mom if she wanted something, and I didn't, Me
Why
and
don't
Avery
you just tell me?
me and Avery just snuck out. And
oh, my God.
I did ask my older daughter. Casey said no, she didn't want anything.
She was like, no, I'll just tell Mom.
Yeah.
Hey, every now and then it's okay to do something for just you. All right, I'm gonna back you on this because I was thinking the same thing, man. If I got Rochelle, then I got to ask the kids, and then it's a whole big thing.
I don't have that.
And then I got to wait for these guys to all get their shoes on and come outside and get it. And by the time we get out there, it's gonna be a huge line.
Yes,
I could just zip in and zip right back out and get my little cone and eat it, and I'm a happy man.
May I suggest something though?
You probably shouldn't have had kids.
Right. the kids you can take off the list, but not the wife. You know what I'm saying?
No, you cannot take your kids off. If
Absolutely.
you are going out to
You're
get
trying
ice
to
cream,
teach them to
a thing that a child would
don't
love.
eat that food. Eat vegetables.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go get ice cream, but you're gonna stay home, and I'm not gonna get any for you.
Well,
exactly.
I got the double middle finger last night. Okay,
that's pretty harsh.
I mean, she's
jokingly,
but still there was intent, and so what I'm saying is,
were your lips discolored from the Rita's water ice?
No,
what are you talking about?
Dude,
why are your lips blue?
I went with like flesh colored. I was like, she'll never know. I got a lemon.
Yeah. Do you have any flesh colored ices?
By the way, my new favorite flavor is they have a Florida orange. They didn't have Florida orange last night, but they did have an orange cream. So I went lemon on top, orange cream on the bottom.
You thought about that? You thought about your mouth being discolored?
No, it's just my favorite flavor. The lemon is
that would be the best. So he's got these big, bright purple lips.
What are you talking about? No, it's just really cold.
No, I just missed Prince.
Listen, if you're going to give me the double middle finger, then you have to make sure that every time you get something somewhere, you either text me or surprise me with something, and that is never the case.
So I could have gotten the sundae that she likes, but I got the ribbon soft chocolate and vanilla ice cream, and I also. You do things to buy yourself a little insurance.
Yeah.
I got her a quart of it so that she could.
I failed.
Yeah.
I failed. I definitely failed. Okay, I failed. What's your flavor? What's your favorite flavor? I don't know what your favorite flavor is.
Did she ever tell you?
No, let's see if she.
You need to know now for your.
This is actively happening right now.
Yeah, it's
okay. He's checking his text messages.
It does not indicate. Now, what would I?
Do you guys all know Do you know your roster of favorite menu items for your significant other?
I mean, give me a store and I'll tell you.
When it comes to desserts,
I know something that I could get that she'd like.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe not her favorite, but yeah.
Right.
Like if,
no, just when it comes to desserts, I know my business. You know,
Okay, likewise.
That's important. And if I were to swing by an ice cream store and not get her something or a Rita's or whatever, I would know what to get. Yeah, like if I'm ordering takeout, it's more of a guessing game.
My ability to call an audible is quite sensational.
On desserts,
now, mind you, I'm not dealing with kids. I'm dealing with one person I can focus in on.
Yeah.
So with everything. However, we'll do this thing, and I'll be going out to get milk from the Wawa. So you want anything, and she'll look at me and she'll do this thing we do. She'll, why don't you surprise me?
Oh,
and I always nail it.
Steve, I could get you dessert.
Yes, you know. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if Steve was like, "Oh yeah, I'll take dessert," like I would know what to get him.
Right.
Chocolate chip cookie.
Chocolate chip cookies, brownies, dark
Chocolate
dark
ice cream.
chocolate.
Yes,
no whipped cream.
No whipped cream.
You can give me anything. I'll eat it.
Yeah, you're more of because you like to try stuff.
I like the sample.
But your favorite recent is the
pistachio is my favorite.
That's
flavor
now at the top of the
cream.
list.
Yeah.
In fact, I bought some pistachio gelati.
Yeah.
Gelato, I guess I should say. Last night.
Dessert wise,
10 o'clock. Preston and Steve Show. And let me see. Oh yeah, we were looking for a caller, weren't we? Tried to get a winner for a secret text word. It was caller number 9 that was thrown out there into the world. And now we bring you listener Chris, who's on the line. Hey, Chris, morning to you, bud.
Hey, how you doing?
Awesome, my man. If you give me that secret text word, we got some tickets for you. What is it, please?
It is noon.
Noon is correct.
Yeah.
And for that, Chris, we will give you, hang on the line, a pair of tickets to see Daughtry, the Adrenaline Gone Ballistic Holiday Tour, Saturday, November 30th at Franklin Music Hall. And we had a random texter who won as well, and that's Rena Shaw of New Providence, Pennsylvania. Tickets for the Daughtry show at Franklin Music Hall, November 30th, go on sale. They are on sale now at AXS.com.
And just a reminder that a portion of the proceeds from ticket sales goes towards Camp Out for Hunger.
Excellent.
Love that. We had Chris on not that long ago to talk about it. All right, today's lesson question. We are going to give away a 4-pack of GA tickets for Lincoln Mill Haunted House on Main Street in Manayunk. And the question that we will go with is this. There is a statue of singer-songwriter Cozy Morley down the shore, but we also learned about another Jersey Shore legend named Shooty. What's Shooty's last name? 215-263 WMMR. It's not a real person.
No.
Just to let you know, but it was said on the air earlier today. So it's Shooty. We're looking for Shooty's last name, who is another Jersey Shore legend along with Cozy Morley. If you were listening and you remember, call right now. While you're calling, we'll do this.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, this morning's brought to you by College Ave. Experience a better way to pay for college. Apply for a college loan in minutes. And be on your way to a bright future only at collegeav.com. What's happening this morning, Steve?
Well, former American Idol contestant Benjamin Glaze, who went viral after Katy Perry kissed him during his audition, has been arrested for possessing child porn. However, Perry's off the hook because when Glaze filled out the audition form for Idol, he checked no next to the question, do you collect child porn? So there you go.
God.
Even though he's recently arrested for DUI, former Bears quarterback Jay Cutler is still being allowed to drive with restrictions. Apparently, Cutler must now pull over when he wants to take a sip.
Oh, my God.
And finally, Charlie Sheen's ex-wife, Brooke Mueller, seeking help from the LA Sheriff's Department after a former drug dealer started trying to extort her. Mueller says it's really devastating to find out you can't trust your pusher. And that's your Hollywood Trash.
All right, we are going to the phones. There's a statue of singer-songwriter Cozy Morley down the shore, but we also learned about another Jersey Shore legend named Shooty. And what was Shooty's last name? We are going to go to John, see if we can get the answer. Hey, John, good morning.
Good morning, Presmo.
Yo, buddy. All right, what was Shooty's last name?
Buzzards.
Buzzards. Yes, you got it. Hang on, John. We're going to give you a 4-pack of tickets for Lincoln Mill Haunted House on Main Street, Manayunk, featuring live scare actors, production quality sets, animatronics, and special effects. Plus, you can learn more about serial killer Victor Kane's secrets in Manayunk. Tickets and information at LincolnMillHaunt.com.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Starting with a terrible story. Singer and songwriter Matthew Sweet, the veteran alt-rock performer behind 90s hits like Girlfriend, Sick of Myself, I've Been Waiting, has suffered a stroke.
Oh, no.
Sweet was forced to cancel his cross-country tour and shows with fellow musicians after suffering what his managers called a debilitating stroke in Toronto on Saturday evening. He said Matthew was quickly admitted to Toronto Western Hospital, where he was put into excellent care and taken out of immediate danger. Matthew was transferred to a rehabilitation center back home in Omaha today, where he will undergo extensive therapy. Sweet's family and friends have also set up a GoFundMe to help cover medical costs. They wrote that while doctors and hospital care in Toronto were instrumental in saving Matthew's life, the health care is not free for Americans in Canada. Lyons added that, that's his manager, for the next 6 weeks, Sweet will require around-the-clock care and therapy, followed by months of treatment and rehabilitation. Earlier this month, the singer's Instagram account shared a post announcing that health issues forced him to cancel shows. He had been opening for the group Hanson at the time. In a statement, in the same statement, they said that Sweet is now on a long, difficult road to recovery.
So one of my
terrible
shows that I saw was Matthew Sweet at a small club, Long Island. It was like a rainy night. It was just a couple hundred people, like 300 people. And, you know, just it was I think he was testing out some material for touring. And he was great. I mean, he's a hit machine.
I've met him on a couple occasions. He was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
He's just an easy to talk to, straight ahead guy. And I love his music.
It's terrific.
So that's sad news. I hope he can make a recovery mentally, physically.
That'd be great.
So we're pulling for him. This is kind of a fun story to end home with music news. Thanks to some sloppy merch designs, there's a bit of egg on the face of the organizers of this year's When We Were Young festival. Several designs of official merch for the Live Nation Entertainment promoted event were riddled with band name typos, as reported by multiple users on Reddit.
Like what?
I'll explain. I'll spell them out here for you. This year's edition of the annual celebration of all things emo and Pump Pop took place on October 19th through the 20th at the Las Vegas Festival grounds, with My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, Taking Back Sunday, and more among the top bill. At least 3 of the featured designs were impacted by the egregious typos. And looking at some of the designs, examples of those included All American Rejects, and it was spelled All American Rejects.
All American Rejects.
All American Rejects. Newfound Glory was named New and Glory.
Oh, my God.
We Are the In Crowd was We Are in the Crowd. Sleeping with Sirens was Sleeping with Syrians. Movements was spelled Movements.
Jeez.
Armor for Sleep was Amor for Sleep. LS Dunes didn't have the periods after the L and the S. And Daisy Grenade was Daisy Grenade.
I mean, that's as sloppy as it gets. You didn't even take a look at it.
Various concert goers took to Reddit to express their shock over the matter, perhaps more surprisingly, that there were different band name typos found on different designs. And in an ironic twist, according to several Redditors, the bootleg merch available outside the grounds did not have any misspellings on it. Apparently, said bootleggers later capitalized on the situation, offering their merch as having, quote, no typos.
Do you think, I mean, this had to have passed through several hands and eyes.
You would
right?
imagine.
So is there any one person that they can blame this on?
Well, the final
Probably,
step
yeah.
is going to be the last person to sign off on it is going to be the one that's going to catch the guff.
Hey, Marissa?
I went to this festival last year, and this merch is not cheap, but I want to tell you guys something, that we made some great Preston and Steve Camp Out for Hunger posters. They've been up there for like 2 weeks, sent you guys links. We all looked at it. It's been in our emails and everything. December was spelled wrong. And not one person noticed until Matt Malin, who is an artist who has made some Presbos and art for us, and he caught it, and I fixed it all yesterday.
How is it spelled?
It was December. There was an extra E.
December.
Wait,
people might have thought that was intentional. December.
Why don't they
So
do
I get
that?
it. I get it. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Have you ever heard of like a beer
I've
festival?
never heard of December.
October.
September. There's plenty of them. All right.
Newfound Glory is selling their own T-shirts now with the New and Glory.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
New and Glory. I love it. All right. Yes. Anything else?
Just really quickly, guys, we had a moment this morning with feet, and we just mentioned PrestonandSteve.com. Your foot photo is now on PrestonandSteve.com. It's official. For free.
Yeah, start spanking.
And Steve.com.
Male members of the Preston and Steve show are bare feet. If you've ever been interested,
I'm not giving mine up for free.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know. I don't blame you,
That's
man.
OnlyFans
You're sitting on a
material.
gold mine. Come on. All right, that's it. We're going to take a break. Come back in a second. Wrap up the show. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3.
Become a little bit overrated is that chocolate lava cake.
Oh, but it's so
Has
good.
become
Why is it
I
overrated?
was I was
Delicious.
just talking to my wife. I said, is there any situation in which chocolate lava cake is not applicable?
You seen the movie Chef?
Yeah.
When he wigs out on the chocolate lava cake.
What is it? What's he say? Because it's in the middle.
It's a chocolate ganache. It's frozen.
Yeah.
It's frozen, and you cook it, and that's how it becomes molten in the middle. He's just this critic doesn't understand how it's made, and he's just wigging out, and he's like, "There's more to it than you think." But yeah, chocolate lava.
A lot of places won't let you do takeout chocolate
lava cake
because it's not going to port well.
Yeah. Right. I can't turn away a bread pudding if I'm out to dinner and that is on the dessert menu. I have to.
So even the Desmond has, it's one Philly's best for their bread pudding, and it is sensational. I know a little bit of the secret of their bread pudding.
Oh,
hot dog rolls.
Hot dog rolls. You know what else? Those Hawaiian rolls. Yes, King's Hawaiian. Those ones are really good.
Yep.
And the best dessert I've had in the last couple of years is actually they have
any dessert you don't have to get for your wife.
That one.
All right, I have an actual Kardashian roundup.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Hang on a
I've got like
second.
3 Kardashian stories here. So.
Think of it as one group flush.
Okay.
Kardashian roundup. Here we go.
All right, we're going to round them up for you.
I'm Robert Mitchum, and this is Kardashian Roundup.
Kim shared an amazing throwback video featuring her, Khloe, and Kourtney auditioning for Star Search.
Oh, it was amazing.
Did you see it?
I did.
I've not seen it.
Okay, for like what, spokesmodel?
They lip synced Tiffany's I Think We're Alone Now while wearing matching metallic outfits chosen by Kris Jenner.
Not much has changed because they're still pretending to have talent.
And they were little kids when they did this.
Oh, okay.
She wrote on Instagram, our Star Search audition. Clearly, we didn't get 4 stars, but Kris Jenner did for our outfits. The family matriarch commented on the post and wrote, "Those were the days when I got to dress you guys. I knew I should have been a stylist."
I thought, seeing this video that we're watching, I thought that was Ed McMahon, but it was Khloe.
Speaking of Khloe, she celebrated hitting a social media milestone yesterday, or on Wednesday. She added a photo of herself topless.
What?
In honor of her 178 million Instagram followers.
Okay.
Is that a milestone, 178 million?
No, it's just a reason to drop your top.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right? That was just the excuse for the photo.
It's kind of an arbitrary number, isn't it?
It's not topless.
Yeah, in the photo, well, her hair is covering her
It is
boobs.
topless.
She's not wearing a top, but her top is covered.
Yeah.
I think is what Casey
She is sans top.
With
She is
fake
topless,
hair.
but
And
her boobs aren't out.
It's covered with fake hair.
Man, I'm looking at these pictures. They just don't look real.
It's
Just
so.
don't look real.
And I do not find this cosmetic surgery look in any way attractive.
Yeah.
I think there are a group of people that do, though.
They do, yes.
And I think it's people who all get plastic surgery and I guess understand it or understand why she wants to get it.
Yeah, body dysmorphia group.
Whatever that commercial is, Steve, that we see on TV with her in it, like she looks like she can't even really move.
Eating popcorn.
You what?
I got to hear my daughter eating popcorn.
You're here with your daughter eating popcorn.
Yeah. And like it just looks so awkward. Like she's like hugging and playing with her daughter, but it's like her face.
Don't touch the face!
Yeah, her face doesn't move.
Don't touch the face!
It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Wait, excuse me, Chloe. You got a little schmutz here on you.
Don't touch! Don't touch! Let it fall off. Let it dry up and fall off.
Don't touch. Don't touch. It might cave in.
Don't touch! Don't touch! Close the windows.
Close the window.
Mommy, you got a little something on your lip.
No! No! What did I tell you? I said don't touch mommy's face. Don't touch mommy's face. Don't touch mommy's face.
In the photo, Chloe is.
Don't even look at mommy's face. I don't know, the eye beams or something. I don't know.
Eye beams?
I don't know. Maybe there's radiation. I don't know. I'm not willing to take the risk.
I want to remind you that our Love You Help You line is available for your convenience should you be looking to, if you're looking to get a little boost to a business. It's something we've still, we're continuing, even though things have gotten a little bit more back to normal. But,
yeah, but
they're going back as well, you know.
There's a big conundrum out there, and if I can take this opportunity, Preston, just to give you an idea of what we're looking for, what people are looking for, our friend JP, who used to own the Ugly Moose in Manioc, now owns a place called the Bagataway Tavern in Conshohocken. Listen to what he's looking for. He needs a GM, kitchen manager, servers, bartenders, barbacks, experienced chefs. He's a great guy, great boss, and all those positions are available, and he needs help. He says he's finding it hard, to keep things running. Right. And that's the issue. So if you're looking for work, time has never been better. He actually says you can call him on his phone, his actual phone, which is 484-988-0942. The great place in Conshohocken. But again, if you have a business and you're looking for assistance, anything to help you get up and running. As you said, President, it's eased up a little bit, and hopefully we keep going in a good direction. Mm-hmm. But, man, wanted signs all over the place.
Wait, did he buy that from the owners, or was he always the owner?
He was always
of
a
that?
co-owner. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah. So he's always been associated with that. The Ugly Moose sadly no longer exists.
Yeah, that was a great place.
It was great.
I
we
loved it
it.
there.
That was a cool place.
Yeah.
Let's try and forget about the moose for a moment.
Forget about the moose.
We need.
Why don't you forget the moose?
Ugly Moose! Ugly Moose!
I really enjoy the intro to the Moose clip.
All the mooses are waiting for you.
Hey, which button was that?
It was pink then green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you forget the moose?
That's
for a moment. Why don't you forget the moose? For a moment.
We need that needs to be a set clip.
That's great.
Yep, we'll have to do that.
Man, this is one of the best shows we've ever had.
And though, a moose charged a runner.
Again!
Kid you not.
Why don't you forget the moose? For a moment.
A moose charged a runner and left him with a hoof print shaped cut on the back of his head.
Oh, that's awful.
Colorado officials
That's just
said.
something to remember me by.
Yeah. The New Mexico man was running on a trail with his two dogs Wednesday when they encountered a moose.
Why don't you forget the moose? For a moment.
The runner was on a trail. The dogs were off leash about 50 feet in front of the man during the run. They suddenly bolted back toward the man. He stopped and saw the bull moose at about 50 feet. At that point, the dogs ran past him and left the scene. Yeah, they're out, dude.
Yeah.
They're checking out.
You had a story, was it earlier this week or last week, about a woman being, stomped?
Yep, exactly. The man took 2 steps towards the moose to see it better, and that caused it to charge towards the man.
Why don't you forget the moose? For a moment.
The moose attacked the runner, giving him minor injuries, and he was taken to the hospital and released the same day. The sheriff said he was very lucky that his only injury is a hoof print-shaped laceration on the back of his head.
You bet your ass.
Moose attacks in Colorado are increasing. They are protective animals and will defend their territory and young. Now, I had a moose question earlier this morning, trivia question for the Super Question, and did not know that they're solitary, so they do not have herds of moose.
That's why a lot of them are writers.
They live a lonely existence. And once,
that's sad.
Once their offspring are about 18 months old, the cow, the mom, will shun them, like push them away. Yeah, exactly.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
That's essentially what they do, and then they just kind of roam all alone.
Maybe they're happy, Kath. How do you know?
They are happy.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, could be happy alone. I don't know. It just seems sad to not have any family or friends.
All right, how about this?
Poor things.
Police.
One is the loneliest number that you ever moosed.
So we'll go through some stories here for you, starting with Zoe Kravitz and Channing Tatum. They are officially a couple.
Yeah!
Us Weekly has confirmed it. This comes after weeks of rumors. A source exclusively tells us of the actors Channing and Zoe are dating. They connected while working on their upcoming film, Pussy Island.
Pussy Island.
Yes.
Yes. Which is, we have yet to determine what Pussy Island is about.
Nope.
We assume it's an island that looks like a large vagina.
No, it might be cats.
Oh, that's true. Yes, cats, of course.
Oh.
So this is perfect timing because just by happenstance over the weekend, I watched the second Magic Mike movie. And Nick, you said you saw that.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't quite get it, but and I'm not sure what exactly I watched. I felt like I went to the whole movie is basically a male dance review.
You're not sure if it's a movie.
It seems like there's really nothing there.
Yeah.
Other
There's
than
no story. It's just the show.
a lot of sitting around talking, and then a lot of pelvic thrusting into women's faces, and big presentations. And I can't say that I hated it.
I went with 2 women, and they loved it. So we all left the theater in a good mood because they were in a great mood. So why not? A little eye candy.
There's stuff, Nick, and you'll agree to this, that Channing Tatum does to these women, like Preston standing on the chair, thrusting, flipping around. You would F someone in half if that's the way you approach sex.
Speaking of Channing Tatum, totally different than the movie. What was it? that you just mentioned.
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike 2.
Yes.
My daughter turned me on to a movie that Channing Tatum is in, and it's called The Book of Life. I had never seen it. It's an animated movie, and it's great. And he voices one of the main characters.
He's really talented. He's good.
Guillermo del Toro produced it, and it's really, really well done, but I had never seen it. It's no Pussy Island.
I was so intrigued by Pussy Island. If anyone has any idea what it's about.
It might be cats, man. 'Cause you know, some of those island nations. Remember when we were on Anguilla or St. Martin? It was overrun with cats.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. So it very well could be that. I don't know.
Yeah, when I was in St. Lucia,
near the Butthole Islands,
they had these little. I mean, at the resort that we were at, they had a bunch of different
Butthole
restaurants. A bunch of different restaurants, and there were definitely cats at the restaurants. You know,
Blues Traveler on 93.3 WMMR. Everything that rocks. Preston Steve Radio show. Just about the end here. 10:34 on a Wednesday morning, last of the really warm summer-like temperatures that we see for the near future anyhow. High 80 today, lots of sunshine. Tomorrow 66, and Friday same thing for our high temp. Saturday about 70. So we drop off a little bit, and then Sunday we take an even deeper dive, and the high temp will be 60 degrees then. And so a little more seasonable, which is not a bad thing, but man, it sure has been nice the last few days. I would like to thank Miss Raven-Symone for being on the show, and that's her full first name, Raven-Symone, not Raven-Symone, and she just doesn't
stop fighting.
Correct people when they say it incorrectly. She did verify that, so Raven-Symone. And she's got the show Scrabble. She was great little conversation. Enjoy her. 8 o'clock on Friday on the CW. I thought it was tomorrow.
You know what? Go to the CW website. It says that the next episode is on 10/25 at 8 p.m. So it was pretty confusing, but you know.
Okay.
You can get the episodes on the CW app.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you to Raven for being on the program. Pierre is here. How you doing?
Good day.
Nice to see you, man.
And to see you kids as well.
So a couple things. We have an announcement to make about something you have coming up. Why don't we get the letter of the day, and then we'll move on and we'll get that stuff going. So let me hit this. Here.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, Nam. The Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter.
V as in vote.
All right, V as in vote. And we have a $500 Joseph Anthony Retreat Salon and Spa gift card to give away. The ultimate destination for all things beauty and wellness is closer than you might think. Treat yourself to a day of relaxation at Joseph Anthony in Glen Mills, Springfield, and Center City, Philadelphia. You can book today at josephanthony.com. That's josephanthony.com. So, all right, shall we make this announcement now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll intro it. I'll name it for you, and then we'll get the details from you. Ladies and gentlemen, proud to present here at WMMR, Pierre's Polling Place. And it is your chance to vote for something, right, Pierre?
I'm an alliteration queen.
Me too. I love it.
So, yes, it is the voting season, obviously, but we're going to make a left turn out of that into a musical vote. And it was such a top-heavy summer with concerts.
Yes, it was.
I mean, more than I can recall, and I go to a lot of them. Brent goes to a lot of them. Jackie goes to as many as he can. And you guys aren't able to, but based on your schedule. But even on weekends, you guys go. But it was so crowded, so packed. And so Ryan and I went through a whole bunch of concerts from my calendar and the MMR calendar, and we've got it down to about 20 shows. And so on Monday, Pierre's Polling Place will open, and you'll be able to vote online at WMMR.com. And then we'll do blocks of the bands all through next week, and you'll be able to vote through next weekend as well. And then on Monday, the day before official election day, we'll announce the winner and do the grand prize celebration, of which they get nothing. But
I think bragging rights should be something. I think this could be something that has a little bit of weight to it, to be the deemed the show of the summer by WMMR.
Yeah,
that's
by
pretty
our
cool.
listeners.
Yeah,
I mean, think about it. Everything from Bruce to Stones to DMB. Was Fish out this summer, Air?
Not anywhere near. Well, I mean, Dover. They were at the Mondegreen Festival in Dover,
We're just
Delaware.
counting Philly, basically.
Yeah.
But not even so much Atlantic City. But I mean, think about, so many shows.
Yeah.
Green Day, Def Leppard and Journey. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So we had a hard time even getting it down to 20. But your votes will help us get it to the top 3. And then a week from Monday, we'll announce the winners. But voting will open on Monday morning.
And you're going to try to have people zero in on not just your favorite band amongst those, but that actual show.
Right. What was your favorite concert? It might not be your favorite band, but you went to the show going, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. You're blown away. Sometimes it happens where you go along with a friend. I am not, I know the couple of the hits you go and you're like, oh my God, there's a great show I ever saw.
Yeah.
Well, MMBarbecue, for instance. I mean, I was.
That's on the list.
It should be on the list, but going to, I didn't know anything about Hailstorm. I was more excited about seeing Silvertide again. Yeah. And then when Hailstorm came out, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Did not expect this.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a perfect example of what we're talking about. So, we'll have the list up, I think, by, I'm working with the IT department to get all the bugs out of the computer right now.
Oh, yeah, you're really good with that.
That was a lot.
In fact, you just came from the mainframe.
Yeah. I built the mainframe. It's right next to the main point. And anyway, so it will be a lot of fun, I think. We'll just have a goofy time with it all next week. But I wanted to announce it to give people time to think about it.
All right. And it starts when?
Starts Monday morning, I believe.
Cool.
Oh, and I just wanted to mention that tonight I'm going to join Steve on the Mooshaloo for that wonderful party. Mutiny on the Mooshaloo.
4. Paranormal Captivity.
Paranormal Captivity.
Jackie Bam Bam called it the Mashulu.
He called it Mashululu.
By the way, everybody pronounces it different. So Steve says Mashaloo, you say Mushaloo, I say Mashulu.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
what does Jackie say?
Yeah.
Mashalulu.
The Mashalulu.
Mashalulu with salad balls.
All the salad balls you can eat.
But
I appreciate you doing that. Tickets are available. Some tickets remain, not many, but yes.
What's the website again?
It's maxfund.com, MACSFUND.com, or PrestonandSteve.com. And one ticket, you've been there. You get everything.
So much stuff. I mean, some great food and drink and roving characters and 6 to 9. So I'm looking forward to it tonight. And it's going to be a beautiful night.
It's so gorgeous. Last year, you remember we had the Canadian forest fires. We didn't know if we were going to be able to have the event. Right. And it turned out it was around this kind of weather, and it was sensational.
Yeah, so it's going to be cool.
Awesome.
Forgot about that. Everything smelled smoky.
Yes,
yeah, it's cool. So, and today on the blocks, we'll have Dave Matthews Band, Led Zeppelin, and a workforce block of a little band from Canada that you may take interest in by the name of Rush.
Well, 3-piece.
Oh, I thought it was Len.
No, not Len.
Len?
Let me thank our sponsors. The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by Dunkin', and the Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. Also brought to you by Acme Markets, the official supermarket of the Philadelphia Eagles, and Company Wrench. Visit them at 2636 South Black Horse Pike in Williamstown or at companywrench.com. Tomorrow on our program, we're going to have actor Michael Cudlitz.
We know him.
Yeah, he played Abraham in Walking Dead. He's been in lots of stuff. He was here in our studio one time. Really nice guy.
He's now Lex Luthor on Superman and Lois.
And director and editor William Goldenberg, who is behind the film, is his directorial debut, this movie called Unstoppable. And it's star-studded. J-Lo is in it, and Don Cheadle, and
Preston, this is the dude that
big names.
edited Heat. You know that
the Michael Mann movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the
Greatest shootout in
yes.
Yep. So he's going to be in our studio tomorrow, and we'll have a bunch of other things that we'll get into. That's it. We're done. Rage on, and have yourself a great day. We shall see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Preston and Steve.
Mm-hmm.